Good afternoon. Welcome to Live Impact News, our afternoon session, but it's still me and Carlene. We're going to be here all day.
Hi.
Lots to get to today. Yeah, we've got a lot to cover. We want to start out with some weather. I just do want to give you a heads up that you're going to want to stick around until 1 p.m. That's the biggest story of the last couple days, of course, is the former co-owner now of Sycamore being arrested and charged with rape. We're going to have a press conference in Stanley County at 1 p.m. We're going to be streaming that here live. Our crew is already in Stanley County getting set up. But while we wait for that, some other things we want to get to first. As we mentioned, weather. Look at this picture. Is this the Beach Mountain?
This is Beach Mountain. This is like a different view of the slough. They call it view of Sleddon Hill, which doesn't look like sledding to me. That looks like good old-fashioned snowboarding and skiing.
You would not catch me on a sled down that mountain.
But yeah, this camera likes to twirl around and go show you the mountains and then show you this. Mm-hmm. It's very pretty. It's a winter wonderland up there. Good for them.
Good for them. We're happy to be inside over here, but it is beautiful. Glad people are enjoying a nice long weekend out there. And of course, though, for all over, not just the mountains, we're going to be seeing some chilly temps coming up. Luckily, tomorrow, Chris gave it a gold star this morning.
Yeah, he said that's his pick of the week.
Yep.
He gave it a gold medal and said Sunday it's going to start going down.
Downhill. If you're going outside and you're not going out for winter sports like we're seeing here, Saturday's the day. But just know that Sunday into Monday morning, it's going to get real cold. So our Larry Sprinkle has an update on that forecast for you.
The weather pattern that we're going to see over the next several days as we check and show you the sunshine out there from our cameras over in Monroe, out of Lake Norman, Dallas over in Gaston County, our Tower Cam, and the Queen City looking great with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperature-wise, across the area, right at the freezing mark there at Boone, 32 there, Hickory at 38. It's 45 at Lancaster, South Carolina. Over in Salisbury, 37. We're 42 degrees right here in the Queen City. And yes, earlier today, some folks had some wintry precipitation tracking across here. Everything is really basically shifted off to the east. You can see over towards Meisenheimer, a little bit of icy precipitation there. Up around Thomasville, as you head over towards the Triad in that area, the Triangle, we're looking at a little bit of snow kind of mixing in. It's interesting, the kind of precipitation that we saw today in a couple spots. Snow falls through a layer of super cool rain droplets. The droplets freeze on the snow, and that forms what's called graupel. We don't see it that often, but it certainly can happen, and we have some of that from one of our viewers, thanks to Hank Lee, and from weather at WCNC.com. You can see some of that falling right there. This is in Mooresville. What it is snowflakes surrounded by an icy layer. When they fall, they're kind of soft. It's not like hail, or actually when you get this time, you get sleet that when it falls, it kind of bounces. This is graupel. You see this occasionally during the winter months, and some of that certainly was in the weather picture out there today. So for today, what's going to be a mix of clouds and sun. We'll see temperatures in the upper 40s, right around 50 tomorrow. Milder temperatures, highs near 60, so really above average temperatures tomorrow. And then Sunday night, that Arctic blast into Monday. We're going to see some of the coldest, in fact, probably the coldest weather we have seen so far this season as we head from Sunday night into Monday. What we're going to see is Sunday evening, those temperatures start to plummet. Lows locally will be in the teens. Now, up in the mountains, they're going to see single-digit temperatures. And with the winds up around 15 to 20 miles an hour, it's going to feel like about zero once you get to the high country. Colder wind chills even here. We could see almost maybe around 10 degrees with some of the breezes that we see. So limit your time outside. That's really Sunday night throughout Monday, and that's when we're definitely going to be weather impact alert. Protect the pets and the pipes. Make sure that you let that water drip for a while, because it's going to be brutally cold as we head into early on Monday morning. After seeing that weather pattern as far as the temperatures over the next several days, once again, tomorrow, really mild, the best day of the weekend. We're near 60 degrees. We're 48 degrees on Sunday, and yes, we struggle to make it to 38 degrees for high temperature Monday. Tuesday at 49, back into the upper 50s as we head into the middle of next week. At the moment, right now, we're looking over at Rockingham at 50 at Rock Hill for high, 36 at Boone, close to 50 for a high temperature in the Queen City. Timeline around 2 o'clock, upper 40s, near 50 between about 3 and 4 this afternoon, with a mix of clouds and sunshine, so at least temperatures struggling to make it to maybe near averages. As we check your 7-day forecast, from Jerry. Look, take a look at it from Jerry Hunt. Look, it's 50 today, near 60 tomorrow, and then it's Sunday night into Monday that we are certainly weather impact alert with those temperatures falling right here in the Charlotte area to around 17 degrees Monday morning, 49 on Tuesday. Notice Wednesday and Thursday, nice milder warm up. In fact, by Thursday of next week, we'll see temperatures in the low to mid 60s. It's really Monday, something to think about. Make plans, Ed, to make sure that things are going to be okay as you head out the door on Monday morning. And that's your forecast.
All right, that was our Larry Sprinkle with the forecast. We will check back in later, especially ahead of anyone's weekend plans. Something else we want to get to happening live, though. This is Texas Governor Greg Abbott. He's at the Austin airport making an announcement, a major economic development announcement, they're saying, with Southwest.
Before they leave.
Good job, man. Yeah. You usually hear enough words that you can get it. So.
We're going to hold on here for a second because they're standing up. We thought they were about to start answering some questions, but instead we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back out in about 2 minutes. All right, welcome back to Live Impact News, 1240 here in the Impact Studio. We want to get out to something else happening live now. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is in Alabama. Actually, the shot just went down, but let me tell you what we know so far about this. So he's in Alabama in Huntsville, where U.S. Space Command will be unveiling its headquarters sign on the new arsenal. Now, there's a lot going on here because Space Command had a temporary headquarters in Colorado Springs, which the Attorney General there is actually trying to keep there. But meanwhile, today, this is still ongoing. I know at 2:30 is when that more formal unveiling is supposed to happen. Right now, he's just speaking with, officers there, personnel there, and getting some information on the ground. Carlene, what would you like to go to instead?
Let's do kind of a recap from yesterday with the U.S. Attorney and FBI. Following the stabbing.
Yeah, so we're coming back a little bit closer to home. This is something I was at yesterday, following up on the second light rail stabbing in the last 4 months. The first, of course, being the murder of Irina Zarutska in August. DeCarlos Brown is charged with that and is currently going through that court process. Meanwhile, last week, about a week ago today actually, there was another stabbing on the light rail as well. That suspect is also now facing multiple charges from the federal government on top of state charges. That's what we learned yesterday from the FBI and from the U.S. Attorney General, or the U.S. Attorney of the Western District of North Carolina. So let's take a listen to that press conference, because they not only talked about why they're bringing these charges similarly that they did to DeCarlos Brown as well, to this suspect, but also got to answer some questions about what message they hope this sends to potential criminals.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm here with Jim Barnacle, who's the special agent in charge of the FBI for North Carolina. Thanks for being here, Jim. And we're here to announce two things today. The first is that DeCarlos Brown Jr., who we charged with the brutal and random stabbing of Irina Zarutska on Charlotte's light rail system, made his first appearance for his initial appearance in federal court today. I know a lot of you were in the courtroom for that today. He was advised of his rights by a federal judge. He's now in federal custody, and his federal case will move forward according to the federal rules of criminal procedure. We first charged Mr. Brown by criminal complaint. A lot of you were here that day. He was subsequently formally charged by the grand jury in that case with committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system. Since we announced those charges here, Mr. Barnacle and I have met in person with Irina Zarutska's family. They are heartbroken. Our hearts go out to them. We think about them every day. We are committed to justice for her and for her family, and my team and I will not stop until we get justice for her and her family. But we're here to announce the second thing today as well. We're here to announce charges in the more recent second light rail stabbing on the Charlotte light rail system. Today, we filed federal charges against Oscar Solorzano Garcia. Mr. Solorzano Garcia is an illegal immigrant here in the United States, and not only is he illegally here, he has not been deported not just once before, he has twice been deported from the United States before. Now, coming back to the United States after you're deported is a federal crime, and it's a federal crime that doesn't just end in another deportation, it ends in prison time in a United States prison. Mr. Solorzano Garcia has previously been sentenced to 18 months for illegal reentry, but we have charged him again with illegal reentry, and we hope the border is more secure now than it was before. We have also charged him with a crime of violence on a mass transportation system. That's that section 1992A7 of Title 18. It's the same charge that we charged DeCarlos Brown Jr. with for his stabbing on the train. In a minute, Mr. Barnacle will give you a little bit more details about the allegations that we've made and how that crime came to be, at least as we allege it. But I want to say this. Everyone who rides the light rail is a victim of this crime today. People use the light rail because they have disabilities and they can't drive. They use it to get an education, which the expansion to UNCC made extremely accessible. They use it to go to work or to return from work, like Irina Zarutska was. They use it to go about their daily errands, to go to the library, to go to the grocery store. They use it to visit family. And it is extremely important to me that people are not only safe on the light rail, but that they feel safe on the light rail, which is really just as important, because people should be able to go about their lives and enjoy the infrastructure that their tax money paid for without worrying about who's sitting behind them or who's down the rail car. You're probably not going to believe this, but my Christmas card last year was actually a picture of my family on the light rail. And the reason is because we took the light rail to Lowe's, and we got a Christmas tree, and we got on the light rail and took it home. And it was this great family moment because we ran into all these people. Everyone said, oh, you got your tree. It was this community moment that we have in Charlotte a lot. That's part of what makes Charlotte what it is this community that loves the city and enjoys what we have built here. Now, this year I went to the same Lowe's to get my Christmas tree, but I brought a pickup truck this time. I did not ride the light rail, and that makes me sad. It makes me sad because you learn a lot on the light rail. I have a 4-year-old daughter. You encounter people on the light rail that are using the light rail for these opportunities that we talk about, that are using it to go to college, to get work, to obtain things that you could not obtain without that infrastructure in the city. And not only does she lose that lesson this year, but a lot of people in Charlotte are losing the opportunities that are brought by public transportation. And we've invested too much as a city to let that happen. The federal statute prohibiting violent acts on mass transportation systems exists for this reason. Those systems belong to the public. They must be safe, they must be accessible, and they must be free from violence. And we are going to do everything we can to make sure that is the case, at least here in Charlotte. I want to thank a lot of people today. First, I want to thank the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, our new Chief Stella Patterson, who has put an emphasis on violent crime, particularly in our areas where we congregate, like Uptown and public transportation. Her department quickly made an arrest here. And this is the second light rail been made practically immediately afterward, which is impressive police work. I want to thank the District Attorney's Office and Spencer Merriweather, who brought charges quickly and detained the defendant on state charges. I want to thank Immigration and Customs Enforcement for working across agencies to make sure people like Mr. Solorzano Garcia are not here to commit these crimes. And of course, I want to thank the FBI for a very, very quick investigation so we could quickly bring these charges, which we brought by criminal complaint today. We have built a world-class city here in Charlotte. There's no question about that. But that will all be lost if our residents and visitors alike do not feel safe when they go about their daily lives. But the federal government is here to make sure that those who use public transportation, those who rely on public transportation, can safely do so, and not just safely do so, safe when they do so, because everyone deserves to enjoy all that Charlotte has to offer. I'll now turn it over to Mr. Barnacle, who'll talk a little bit more about the incident itself.
Thank you, Russ. Jim Barnacle, the FBI Special Agent in charge here in Charlotte and overseeing North Carolina. 2 months ago, I stood in this exact spot with U.S. Attorney Ferguson to announce federal charges related to the tragic murder of Irina Zarutska last August. Irina's family has publicly expressed their concerns upon hearing someone else was stabbed on the light rail. And our hearts go out to her family again. In this case, Good Samaritans rendered aid to the victim and gave CMPD officers a detailed description of the alleged attacker, which helped those officers arrest the suspect within minutes. The person charged in this crime, Oscar Solorzano Garcia, never should have been in Charlotte or ever been in this country. He had been deported twice. I'll detail his prior criminal history in a minute, but first I want to read from the criminal complaint about the night of December 5th. The first calls came into 911 or 911 at approximately 4:49 p.m. A witness told the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department Solorzano Garcia got onto the train at Scaly Bark Road, Carson Boulevard Station, and that he appeared to be intoxicated and was being belligerent. The witness went on to say the victim and Solorzano Garcia got into a verbal altercation on the 9th Street station and stated as the train began to arrive at Parkwood Station, Solorzano Garcia pulled out a long knife and a red sheath from the right side of his pocket, his pants. The witness said the knife was at least 12 inches long. They stated Solorzano Garcia stabbed the victim in the chest with a knife, then dropped the knife on the ground, picked it back up, then got off the train and jumped over a black chain link fence and ran up North Brevard Street. CMPD arrested him quickly, and our agents began working with their detectives. The FBI reached out to our partners at ICE and discovered Solorzano Garcia has a criminal history in the United States dating back to 2012. He's used at least 4 aliases. Here's what I can tell you about his previous encounters with law enforcement. In March of 2012, he was arrested by the Union City Police Department in New Jersey, convicted of robbery. In July of 2016, he was arrested by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office in Florida for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Multiple police reports say he stabbed a victim multiple times with a knife.
Hey, we're aware of it coming in and out right now. Just so we know that this does get a little bit better, but we had a little bit of trouble with the feedback. So we're going to stay on this because this is important and it is going to clear up in just a moment. So just bear with us here for a second.
Please. He was at Alexandria. We're still working with and we're time back where he
Once again, we know that it's coming in and out. I promise you it's coming back in just a second, so bear with us, please.
came. Talk a minute. But I can tell you that the FBI's Violent Crime and State Streets task forces were out last weekend, and they worked cases jointly with CMPD, and we are pleased to announce today that we have referred 6 cases to the U.S. Attorney's Office here in the Western District of North Carolina, and those were 6 people that were felons in possessions of firearms. Of those 6 people, 2 stolen firearms were recovered. 1 firearm was being possessed by a gang member, and a firearm had its serial number scratched out. The weapon was altered. We've got a crime problem across North Carolina. There are many agencies committed to working federal crimes and to working state and local crimes. We met earlier this week with all the federal partners here in North Carolina. The State Bureau of Investigation also attended that meeting, and the U.S. Attorney's offices from North Carolina and South Carolina. And we talked about addressing violent crime and crime and the plight brought to us by drugs and the cartels. So we look forward to future collaboration and more arrests. Today, circling back to what we had, as U.S. Attorney Ferguson said, people should be able to ride this light rail. They should be able to go home from work. They should be able to go out to to town here. They should be able to get home each evening, and it should be safe and secure. And unfortunately, it is not. We had a terrible situation, and thankfully, we did not lose another life. That is all I have. Turn to Russ for questions, perhaps.
Sure, thank you. We're happy to take any questions you've got.
Mr. Ferguson, you everyone with Queen City News here in Charlotte. Earlier this week, the sheriff placed some onus on DHS because Mr. Solorzano wasn't caught up in the Operation Charlotte's Web in the past weeks. Has DHS explained why he was not on that list of their detainees or pickups?
No, well, here's the thing about illegal immigration. There's no record of these people coming into the United States or being in the United States or where they are in the United States. So there's not a list of illegal immigrants we can go down and arrest them all, or we would do it. And that's why the CBP operation sometimes seemed a little hectic at times, because it is a very difficult crime to detect. And they didn't get Mr. Solorzano Garcia, but I certainly wish that they had, because we would have saved a very, very bad incident here.
Russ Hunter here
Hey,
with
Hunter.
Channel 9. We have heard that there could potentially be gang affiliation and ties with Mr. Solorzano. Can you speak on that? Are there indeed gang ties with him?
So this investigation is ongoing. There are some initial indications there may be a gang relation, tattoos and things like that that would be consistent with MS-13, but we have not confirmed yet whether there are any gang affiliations here, and that's the FBI is actively working on that.
And I know you spoke to the second question, the re-entry charge. He got past it once, I guess, with the actual charge of it. Do you think it's
All right, we're going to take a quick break real quick because we know we have this press conference at 1 coming up in Stanley County with an update on the former now co-owner of Sycamore Brewing who's arrested on sex assault charges. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes, and if that shot's not up yet, we'll come back to this press conference, but know that that's coming up any minute now, so stick with us. Welcome back to Live Impact News here. We're just minutes away from 1 p.m. and that's really what we've been waiting for all day. We were expecting an update from the Stanley County Sheriff's Office on the arrest and charges against Justin Brigham, the now former co-owner of Sycamore Brewing. So that's his mugshot there. He's a 44-year-old who is now charged with 3 felonies, including statutory rape of a child under 15 years old, first-degree burglary, and indecent liberties with a child. Now, we still have a lot of questions here that we want to get answered. What we know so far is that the child involved is 13. We know that Wednesday he's accused of breaking into a home and engaging in sexual acts with this child. He was then quickly taken into custody on Thursday and appeared in court just yesterday morning. His bond here, $10 million. It's a very high bond. In the event that he does post bail, he's required to surrender his passport. He has to stay in the state. He's not allowed to leave North Carolina. Of course, have no contact with the victim. And interestingly, also stay off of social media. Important to note, though, we do not know if or how these two are connected, the victim and the suspect here. But interesting that that social media part is added. Now, we're not expecting to see Brigham in court anytime soon. That's December 29th. He's expected next. But hopefully today in Stanley County, we're going to get to piece together some of the questions that we still have. We have this shot up now where you can see they're getting ready. This is not official yet. None of the spokespeople who will be speaking to us or any officials have shown up yet. They're just, I think, getting a mic check now and making sure everyone is set up. But we wanted to show you that we do have this up. I mentioned that he is now the former co-owner of Sycamore Brewing. We know this because his wife and co-owner of the business posted a statement that we have seen now really all over the place. It's gone quite viral. I'm going to read it out to you. This was posted on the Sycamore Brewing Instagram page. It reads, "To our employees, customers, and partners, I am devastated by the charges against Justin and the pain this has inflicted on our family and others. Effective immediately, I am assuming full leadership of the company. Justin is divesting all of his interests and will have no further involvement. Our team remains my highest priority as a mom and a business owner." She signs it Sarah Taylor, which is her maiden name. Now, we do not know any more information about what that means for the relationship between these two, the marriage between these two. We have not been able to get in contact with Sarah Taylor, of course. We have reached out via email and we've tried multiple phone numbers, but of course I think that this is probably the only statement that we are going to get for a while they deal with this personally. Carlene, you got something going on?
Saying it doesn't look like we are getting close to the start of it, but however, this does look like we're starting. This is from Michigan concerning the coach.
Okay. Yeah, so
we will put a pin. We will be, of course, bringing you Stanley County the latest as we get it. But in the meantime,
the Michigan football coach, also now former, is at his arraignment. He's facing criminal charges associated with an assault investigation. So, of course, local is priority. So we'll get back to Stanley County shortly. But let's take a listen in here.
And Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Moore.
That's the charges, sir.
We waive formal reading of the complaint. Your Honor, stand mute to the charges.
Formal reading having been waived, the plea of mute will be entered on your client's behalf. Simon, make your bond argument now or reserve?
Your Honor, I think the people want to make a presentation, and I'll go after that if that's okay.
All right, Ms. Wisniewski.
Your Honor, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mr. Simon. And thank you for the opportunity to be heard. As the court is well aware, this is not a series of offenses in Michigan that allow you to deny bond. We're certainly not asking for that. This is a felony of home invasion 3rd degree, misdemeanor stalking, and misdemeanor entry without permission. Your Honor, we are asking for a $25,000 cash or surety bond in light of the fact that we cannot ask for you to deny bond. I get that he is a man of means, and so this is a bit of a nominal monetary ask, but quite frankly, it would be an ask that I would make for any defendant charged with these offenses before you. So what strikes me as perhaps more important in this scenario are conditions that I would like to ask for. Because, of course, as you know, Your Honor, you're tasked with trying to make sure that he reappears, but also the safety of the public and this victim in particular. So, Judge, in addition to an ask for a $25,000 cash or surety, we are asking, should he post that? Should you impose that? We are asking that you order that he undergo a mental health evaluation. We are asking that you order him to submit to a GPS tether, and that there be a no-go to this victim's residence or place of employment. Ask that you order that there be no contact with her whatsoever in any means, any fashion, direct or indirect, that there be no
Come back to this. We want to get right back out to this update from Stanley County. Let's take a listen in.
Inside of a home in a juvenile's room. Later, deputies found the gentleman away from the home and was taken into custody for questioning and was later charged.
The relationship between the suspect and the minor, how did they meet? What can you share about that?
It's our understanding it's a social media platform that's common.
And how important is it for parents to kind of be aware of, dangers of social media?
This should speak volumes. My kids are grown and gone, but for my grandkids at this point, yes, this should be a huge eye-opening experience. Parents need to pay attention to their kids.
That suspect was located in a car, undressed. What was his reaction when you folks came up on him, and how far away was the car from the actual crime scene?
I'm not sure how far away it was. My understanding, he was undressed. But now, how far, I'm not sure.
His general reaction to being caught?
I would imagine it was like anybody else. That's found in that kind of state. But nobody's told me what his reaction was. I know okay. Next.
Small town, how troubling is this to happen in your jurisdiction, and really anywhere, but just how troubling is this incident for you guys to be investigating? Where does this...
You never expect it to happen to rural county, Stanley County. You don't expect it. I hate to say it's more common in bigger cities, but I mean it is just because of volumes of people. But no, it's a horrific crime for sure.
And as part of your investigation, are you trying to determine if this was a one-off incident or if this potentially could expand to other...
Yes, we'll look at all avenues and aspects of it.
So the two met online. Was it an arranged meeting that we're aware of at this point? Was he supposed to be there? Or was this kind of a surprise visit?
That I'm not sure. That's still being investigated. They're looking into that.
There's going to be a lot of parents who, for lack of a better term, are freaking out about something like this because social media is so prevalent in our society. What kind of tips can you give to parents to avoid situations where their young juvenile daughters could be basically victimized in a situation like this?
Well, you're asking an old man something he doesn't know much about when it comes to these devices. Parents that are familiar with technology and these social media platforms, pay attention to what your kids are looking at. I understand there's different ways of blocking or monitoring. There again, I'm not sure, but parents need to pay attention to what their kids are looking at.
And this is very clearly a minor.
Correct.
13? She's 13.
She's a minor. She's a juvenile. Yes.
And are you aware if he knew she was a minor?
It's my understanding he was fully aware.
Could there be additional charges?
Yes, there will be further charges. We anticipate more charges, yes.
How serious are the crimes in this case? People may not know jail time, anything like that. These are very serious.
These are very serious, very serious. He could go to prison for a long time.
Sycamore is a well-known brand. This story has had, it's very big right now. It's a huge story because it involves Sycamore.
Right.
Is there any inclination from your point that the business or his family members were aware or
No.
involved in any way?
So far, the investigation, nothing. The wife, the business, nothing has come into play.
Take us back to that 911 call that originally instigated all this. Is that call going to be available? And if so, or if not, can you tell us the context of the call? What was said, the urgency of it?
Now, as far as when it'll be available, that I can't tell you. Far as what was said, I'm not even aware of yet of exactly what was said in the call. I've not been brought up to speed that much yet.
Did the call come from parents, do you know?
I have no.
Came from the residents.
Yeah.
How is everyone doing? How is the minor doing? How are the family members doing?
As well as could be expected under the circumstances.
And were there any injuries that you can share at this point?
Not that I've been told.
Okay.
No.
Do we know how long the suspect was on the scene at the girl's bedroom?
I do not.
And do you know if they've had a lengthy relation? No, I don't want to say relation. A lengthy, like, have they known each other for a long time? Have they been communicating for a long time?
That's still under 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
Okay. So I didn't know that. I knew they were still analyzing.
Sure.
There was minor injury.
There was minor injuries. Okay.
Minor injuries to suspect?
Not under investigation.
Was he under the influence or drugs or anything?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Nothing.
This caught a lot of people by surprise just because of the charges and, you know, the distance between Charlotte and Stanley County. When you look at just the distance and the age gap and the evidence and what you know about the case, what does that tell you about potentially maybe there needing to be more investigation into, like, whether this is the first time?
Well, as far as a distance, the western part of Stanley County has become just a bedroom community for Charlotte. The western end of our county is exploding. But as far as the last part of your question, I don't quite understand.
You know, it's a man is accused of breaking into or entering a home without permission in the middle of the night, and he's accused of committing heinous acts.
Right.
Some people have said, you know, that doesn't seem like something someone randomly just decides to do on a whim.
Right.
Is that something you're looking into to determine whether this is a pattern of behavior?
We are, yes.
No, a lot of deputies coming forward.
Oh, yeah, we talked about additional victims. Yeah, through the investigation.
Yeah, but we're also encouraging anybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If there are any other victims, we definitely encourage them to come forward.
No, a lot of deputies, police officers, magistrates, they have kids of their own and they're trying to prosecute this. How tough is it to do the investigation knowing that you may have a son or daughter about that age, knowing that they could easily have been affected as well? I mean, it's got to take a lot of energy to kind of drive past that.
It does. You have to set aside your personal feelings. Years ago when I was a detective, you had to set aside personal feelings and just do your job. It's hard.
Is there anything else?
They knew each other for 2 weeks, met it online.
Yep.
So was this the first time he's made the trip, do we know of, to Stanley County?
Don't know.
We don't know.
Don't know. That's the problem. We don't know.
Do you know what time of the morning he was seen in the room?
I don't know.
But Tom Couple was saying, it appears from the rough timeline that we have together, he was not in the home for a very long period of time. It's our understanding he was not there for hours and hours. I know you guys had some questions about advice to parents, advice to the community involving children, electronic devices, social media platforms. I do have Sergeant
Vic Dunn here to be able to kind of address some of that with you, because that's more her specialty, if you guys would like that. If not, then.
Sure. Yeah.
But I did at least want to make that available.
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you mind stepping up to the podium?
Come on, Carson. She's the expert.
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I wouldn't be a good sheriff if I didn't hire people smarter than me.
Do you mind saying and spelling your name and giving your title?
Yes, Sergeant Carson Vic Dunn, Stanley County Sheriff's Office. Yep, sorry.
Whoop.
Sergeant Carson Vic Dunn, Carson Karcin, Vic Dunn VICK-DUNN.
What should parents know, just in general, about the dangers of social media, especially as they're seeing this case in the news?
So we always recommend the common sense approach. We recommend parents opening communication with the kids so that the kids feel comfortable if something is going on that they want to feel comfortable talking to mom and dad about. Also, we recommend parents talking to kids about getting access to their phones. The parents not being locked out of the children's phones. Even sometimes that might look like a child having a time in which their phones get plugged up in a common area of a house. Maybe once a week talking about what other children that they've heard, like things that happen at school and what would we do as a family if that happened in our home. So really just a common sense, open line of communication. We always encourage that with parents and kids.
Great job. Thank you.
She's the smart one.
Anything else we didn't say that you think is relevant to the story?
I think right now, since it's still ongoing, I think that's about all we can do right now.
And is he cooperating with law enforcement speaking?
That'd be a question.
We don't want to lose that right now. Still an investigation.
Yeah.
I guess
it is his right not to cooperate.
Yeah. Are you happy with, how the courts have played it? The $10 million secured bond is pretty high. Are you happy with
Absolutely.
how this is being handled?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, great job.
So one more thing that I am comfortable disclosing. He obviously, and I'm sure you guys have done enough research on he and his family to know that he does have a residence in Bermuda. So obviously, I would assume that because of the severity of the crime and him having a residence in another country, I think these all play into, along with the guidelines from Arenas law, I think all of these things play into that bond amount, just because of the ability to leave the country.
Can you get a search warrant in Bermuda? Is that something you're
we have no, every nexus that we have is locally. Okay. As far as here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
We have developed no nexus that would have anything to do with Bermuda. Okay. Obviously, if it were to go there, we could leverage federal partners to accommodate those things, but I think that is, I don't think that's even
crossed your mind at this point, yeah?
Not at this point, because there's been virtually zero, or there has been zero nexus between here and there.
Yeah, and I think off record, it seems like his wife is the nexus in Bermuda. But again, she's a victim also, so we don't want to lose too much of that. So that's why the bond is not in Bermuda.
I mean, I'm assuming.
Definitely likely.
I think all of these things combined, the new, because of the class felony, how it falls under Arenas law and some of the new bond changes, as well as severity of the crime, age of the victim, his ability to be a flight risk, both because of assets and having a home in another country. I mean, I just, in my personal opinion, all of these things would have played a factor to a judge.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
So,
everybody's off? Yeah, we can tell them all.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
The Stanley County Sheriff. That was happening live. So this is just information breaking into the newsroom. Stuff that we learned right now. We now know that the victim and suspect here met on social media. So police there offering some words of warning to parents to monitor your child's social media pages, make sure there is a lock on things, and make sure appropriate things are blocked. He continues to face 3 felony charges, including statutory rape. The suspect here, Justin Brigham, but we are expecting now more charges possible. So that's from the sheriff. He did not say what charges those might be, but he did say that Brigham could be in jail for a very long time. So hopefully we'll get some more information on that soon. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back in just 2 minutes. Welcome back to Live Impact News. Julie Kay here. It is 1:21, and we want to get to something that we are actually just now learning about in our newsroom. The University of New Orleans has been placed on an evacuation order. We know that there was some sort of unspecified possible threat to the school that you're taking a live look at right now. A spokesperson did confirm that to our news partners there in New Orleans. In an alert sent to the students, staff, and faculty, police said it had been alerted to, quote, a potential threat to the school, and that's where the mandatory evacuation came in. It also said this is an actual emergency and not a drill or a test with multiple exclamation marks. So curious to see what's going on here. Of course, there's been no information about any sort of injuries or anything that actually happened this far, just some sort of active threat. So we will come back to this when our news partners there in New Orleans learn more. For now, we want to turn to something else that's happening live. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is delivering a keynote address right now, so let's see what she has to say.
The opportunity to serve in Congress and then as governor before I had this position. But that experience all comes to play when it comes to making decisions not only on safety and security, but also how to do so in a way that's accountable to the American taxpayer. So what does the Trump administration under President Trump's leadership want? What do they want to do as far as building partnerships with all of you? What are our goals? And that is what I'm here to discuss with you today. The president wants a country where our citizens can live in peace, where business is booming and opportunity abounds for all of those who play by the rules and follow the law. Today, I'm happy to tell you that President Trump is indeed making America safe again. And I think all of you know that from what you see out on our streets and in our communities today. And he's setting records and breaking records in the process. When President Trump returned to office, one of our top priorities was getting the Department of Homeland Security back on track. As you know, in many situations, our law enforcement officers weren't allowed to do their jobs. People and departments and components under our umbrella were off mission and were not doing the duty that they needed to protect America. For 4 years, the Biden administration pulled DHS and other vital parts of our national security away from our core missions. There's no clearer example than the disastrous open border policies that we saw perpetuated and the invasion which was facilitated by the administration. They brought crime and violence and unprecedented drugs to our communities. Terrorists flooded our country, and countless citizens of adversarial countries waltzed right over our border. Customs and Border Protection was prevented from doing its job, and worse, they were used many times to funnel aliens in as quick as possible. President Trump has put an end to that, delivering the most secure border in American history. In fact, we've just reached our 7th month of 0 illegal aliens released into our streets. Border crossings are down over 93% year over year. Meanwhile, we're removing illegal aliens who came in under the Biden administration. By the end of this year, 2.5 million illegal aliens will have left our country. That includes over 600,000 that were detained and deported, but 1.9 million virtually have left voluntarily through our communication efforts, through the efforts of facilitating plane tickets, and also $1,000 reimbursements for those who choose to go home voluntarily with the opportunity to come back the right way someday. We have seen an incredible amount of interest in fixing things that have been done wrong in the past. As a result, we have also deterred countless would-be border crossings from entering into our country. DHS, as you know, was founded after 9/11. It was founded to put all of the government agencies and components under one umbrella to fight terrorism and to protect the homeland, and that's exactly what we're doing under President Trump. From January to November of this year, ICE alone arrested and removed over 1,100 known or suspected terrorists that were on our terrorist watch list from January through November. And we're driving that number up every day. That is not counting the individuals that were arrested and encountered by other agencies or departments. President Trump has designated many cartels and gangs, other criminal groups such as foreign terrorist organizations, and designating them under that allows us to go after those killers with more tools than we've ever had before. Through our Homeland Security Task Forces, which I co-lead alongside our Attorney General Pam Bondi, DHS is working with other departments as well as our international partners and organizations to crack down on cartels and terrorists and other transnational criminal organizations. Since late August, the Homeland Security Task Force has seized more than 461 metric tons of drugs and millions of dollars in assets. Last weekend, CBP under the Homeland Security Task Force stopped nearly 6,000 pounds of meth from coming into the country from San Diego at a port of entry. And that bust would not have happened without the robust security that we have at the border. The bottom line is that we're driving the cartels out of business, and we're ending an industry that profits off of the deaths of millions of Americans. Fentanyl traffic across our border at the southern border is down 56%, and that means that fewer families will have to live with the pain of losing a loved one. We're taking the fight to make America safe again to our enemies, and we're going after them on the high seas as well. We know that our maritime borders need to be defended, and since January, the U.S. Coast Guard has seized enough cocaine to kill 177 million Americans. That's 2/3 of our country's population. By keeping criminals and terrorists and drugs out of our country, we're saving American lives, and we're sparing American families from the pain of illegal alien crime and the heartache of drug addiction and fentanyl poisoning. But we know that our threats are ever evolving, and that's why you're here, and that's why I'm grateful you made it a priority to be here today. We need the improved technology, the intelligence, and the expertise that you bring to the table to stay ahead of our enemies. Thanks to the big, beautiful bill, we have funding that we can make sure that the Department of Homeland Security has what we need to get equipped to prepare for the future. We focus on merit. We're ensuring that we get the best products so that we can keep the American people as safe as possible. And as a result of everything that we've been doing, Americans are getting back to work after years of illegal aliens taking their jobs and flooding our market and using those resources to support other entities besides American families. In the first 8 months of the Biden administration, 88% of new jobs went to foreign-born workers. In the same period under President Trump, 100% of American jobs went to American-born workers. Overall, that's more than 2.5 million Americans that went back into the workforce. Now, as President Trump continues to stand up for our citizens and prosperity on the global stage, he also is working to enforce American tariffs. CBP is responsible for implementing and for enforcing all tariffs, and in January, CBP has collected $1 billion from tariffs, taxes, and fees. And what there actually are and what we are utilizing them for is a negotiating tactic. They serve as a stick, so to be, to bring people to the table. And if a company or a country doesn't like tariffs, a simple solution exists. Invest in America. Meet our demands. Meet our safety protocols. You won't regret it, you won't have any tariffs, and we want to do business with you if we do it the right way. And we will rely on our international relationships and partnerships to keep our country safe. As President Trump's DHS secretary, it's been an absolute honor every single day to get up and to have a purpose of safety and security with the United States and be able to negotiate with our international partners. And since January, we have secured, under the Department of Homeland Security, over 30 international agreements that don't just tighten our security operations, but they also help us with travel, and 17 of those I have personally signed with our international leaders. For example, the biometric data sharing partnership agreements that we've signed with countries in the Western Hemisphere have allowed us to identify threats to the United States and to the region. And these data exchanges have allowed us to better understand the movement of bad actors in the hemisphere and identify them if they come to the United States. Many of you have the technology and the innovation to help us do that even better. And among those that we have identified, we have found nearly 100 known and suspected terrorists just from those agreements that we've signed in the last several months. America is not just a nation that is important, but it also needs to refocus on being the Arctic nation that it is, and we have been since the 1850s. Under President Trump, we're finally acting like it. We need to revamp our shipbuilding industry to revitalize the Coast Guard to help defend it. And last month, I hosted the ministers from Canada and Finland here in D.C. to continue our icebreaker collaboration effort, our ICE Pact, to strengthen our maritime capabilities, to rebuild America's shipbuilding industry, and to increase our presence in the Arctic region to deter our adversaries. ICE Pact brings together the governments of our countries, our three nations, and it brings private industry in from all three countries. I'm sure you've read and heard about what that really has done to establish the shipping industry here in the United States. For example, the Canadian shipbuilder Davies has pledged over $1 billion to acquire and to modernize the American shipyard assets in Texas for the production of icebreakers right here in the United States. 2 multi-purpose icebreakers are proposed for construction in Finland by the American-owned Bollinger Shipyards and the Canadian-owned company of Seaspan. And working with the Department of Labor, we've deployed millions of dollars in grant programs to create the International Shipbuilding Fellowship, which will fund opportunities for American workers to travel to Finland, to learn from them and their expertise, and to bring that skill set back here at home to deploy. We're doing all of that because the American people deserve the security, they deserve the prosperity, and the future that will come from it. And we need groups like you to make it happen. You are the innovators. You see the challenges that are coming and you help us tackle them with your expertise and your knowledge. You create the solutions that propel us forward, and you don't give up until you do. And that's really what the American spirit is. It's what drives us forward as a nation. We're all doers, and we always have been. As my dad raised us, he told us we don't complain about things, we fix them. And I want to thank you for being here today to help us do exactly that. That's exactly how our ancestors carved 13 colonies out of an unforgiving wilderness. It's how we tamed the Wild West, it's how we founded a nation, and it's how we landed on the moon. That spirit that built America is what made us great, and we need a lot more of it. What do we need from industry? We need your technology. We need your wisdom, your expertise. We need agility. We need you to be quick and fast and deploy. Under the Department of Homeland Security, I have personally reviewed over 9,000 contracts myself to ensure that they're not only the correct contracts we should be signing as far as deploying resources, but to do it quickly and be accountable to taxpayers. Know that when you work with us, that it will meet a need that we have to secure the homeland, but also that it will be something that is appropriate and correct, will be evaluated, and will be deployed at an efficiency to the taxpayer. We have saved over $13 billion at the department just by reviewing and renegotiating contracts, making sure that we're doing the right thing and stretching every single dollar as far as we can to take care of people and to keep them safe. We need your new solutions to meet the threats of tomorrow so that we can build an America where we can protect America and where we can uphold the principles and the law for which it was founded. If you care about all of that, and if you want to be a part of the team and continue to help us, gosh, that would be absolutely fantastic. We need you. We face more threats than we ever have before, not just from enemies that are here within our borders, but from those far beyond. Not just from individuals, but from groups, cartels, terrorists, and even other countries that wish to take America out. Our threats are great, but our people are even greater. And I want to thank you for all that you do to help us to achieve safety, but also hope and happiness here for our families that live here. So I just want to thank you all for being here, for what you do, for loving this country, and may God bless you for partnering with us in new ways each and every day. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to visit with all of you. And with that, I will yield back, but does anybody have any questions? I'll take a couple questions before I leave if you've got some. Yes, ma'am.
Julie Durbin, Clear Line.
Yep.
We have a contract on your desk right now to review the...
We're going to negotiate a contract right here today. I love it.
I want to know what we're going to do to improve and quickly put in place AI-enabled surveillance on our borders to improve the false alarm rate, which is very, very high right now and causing a lot of pain to the folks in the field who need this.
Yeah, as you know, we had a plan under Trump 45 to build the wall, and the wall is not just an infrastructure of a primary wall. There's a secondary wall and the technology and surveillance equipment that actually goes with it as well. And as we do that, and this is the largest project that's ever been undertaken, I believe, in the world, to build an infrastructure project of this magnitude. And having the right technology to tell us when there is a threat at that border is important, but also we need to know when it's not a threat and it's something else. So your contract, I don't know the specific one, but I will go look at it. It's not on my desk yet because I just cleared my desk this afternoon. But I will. But that is one thing that we need, is not just technology, but technology that's reliable, that gives us the correct information we need to keep people safe. So we have already done the many contracts to deploy and building of the border, but we are going to continue to allocate those. I think we have put those out faster from the OB3 funding than ever done before as far as the contracting process has gone, but we'll continue to ensure that those systems get installed and online as soon as possible. What else? She shut it down, didn't she? With the yes, sir. Last one, and then I better let you get back to business.
Ma'am, not a question, but I'm not going to speak for everybody here, but for me, just want to say keep it up.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, God bless you. You have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody.
All right, that was Secretary Kristi Noem speaking at a defense forum. Other things we're paying attention to in the top left corner, that is the slopes at Beech Mountain. Camera showing off the nice snow for people up there taking a long weekend. And the bottom left corner, that is Secretary of War Pete Hegseth at Space Force. He's in Huntsville, Alabama for the announcement of that new facility. We're going to come back out to all these stories we're following in just a few minutes. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Live Impact News. It is 1:40 here, and we've been showing off the slopes at Beech Mountain, really snowy, but closer to where we are in Charlotte here, things are not looking nearly as chilly. That's a live look at Lake Norman. A nearly cloudless sky, a lot less windy than it was.
If you weren't out there and you couldn't feel it, it looks good enough to go out in the boat.
Yep.
You know, it's gorgeous.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not
it
good
feels,
enough.
I wouldn't advise a boat ride.
Mhm.
It's a little chilly for that, as you can see by the tarped up boats, and every boat is in their place. No one's
out there.
No one's out there, but it's pretty.
It is pretty, and as Chris mentioned this morning, we're going to have a nice day tomorrow without any clouds for the most part. So if you have any outdoor activities that don't involve snow, tomorrow's the day to do it.
So I wouldn't advise a boat ride though. It's
not quite.
It'll be chilly.
Yeah, pretty, but not.
You know,
not
you can
open
sit
water
maybe
weather.
on the dock and look at the water.
You know what though? I'm glad we don't have the wind from a couple days ago, because that really that was not my favorite.
No, it cut right through you.
Cut right through. We're getting another update of your forecast though from Larry Sprinkle. He's got all the details.
Good Friday afternoon, Larry Sprinkle here. An improvement over the gloomy skies we saw this morning. Check it out. All of our cameras looking A-OK from Monroe out to Lake Norman. Dallas, that's our tower cam over in Gaston County. And uptown looking good. I think it's going to be an afternoon with some sunshine, fair weather, high thin cirrus clouds in order. As we check and show you what's going to happen as far as future casts, I think the best chance of snowfall over the next several days will be in the North Carolina mountains. In fact, we go from Saturday night into Sunday morning. A significant amount in some of the higher elevations. Once you get up towards Beech Mountain, Sugar Mountain, Grandfather Mountain, those areas, they could see several inches, maybe 2 to 4 inches. Around the Boone Blowing Rock area, they could see maybe up to an inch, inch and a half, a couple inches in some of the higher elevations nearby there. The big area that's going to see a lot of snowfall will be north along Interstate 77. To get travel plans over the weekend, especially Saturday, Sunday, early Monday, heading into parts of West Virginia and Pennsylvania, those areas could see anywhere from about 4 to 7 inches of snowfall. That would be up Interstate 77 northbound, so something to think about if you got travel plans for the weekend. For today, sunshine, fair weather clouds out there, upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. There may be a couple spots east and southeast that actually make in the low 50s, and then Saturday, milder temperatures, highs near 60. Unfortunately, Sunday night, a real Arctic blast, the coldest air of the season so far moving in. We do see some weather impacts, and that would be late Sunday night, especially after midnight, all the way through Monday morning, probably somewhere from about midnight to maybe 8 a.m. Impacts bitter cold, lows in the teens locally. I think in the mountains, really some dangerous conditions up there. They could see wind chills around 0 degrees on Monday morning. So here's what we're talking about. Sunday evening all the way to Monday morning, lows in the teens, colder wind chills. Here locally, we could see the wind chill, how it feels outside, probably somewhere around 10, 11 degrees. Limited time outside, avoid exposing skin, and then protect the pets and the pipes. Something to think about. Make sure you also check on the elderly, someone in your neighborhood. Make sure that people are going to be warm, because it will be dangerously cold as we head from midnight into early on Monday morning. For today, a cold day, but not too bad. We're near 50 degrees. If you're out and about around 3 o'clock, upper 40s near 50. And between about 6 and 8, we go from 45 to right around 41 degrees under mostly clear skies at that time. Here's our 3-day forecast. Tomorrow, a mild day. That's 60 degrees is going to be nice. So the best day for the weekend, the award winner Saturday. Sunday is high of 48, and Monday we struggle to make it to 38 degrees for a high temperature, with lows dropping into the teens early Monday morning. It's interesting. We look at our 10-day forecast, near 50 today, 60 tomorrow, and look at that. Monday, that's 38 degrees. We're going to see a nice rebound in the temperatures as we get to the end of next week. In fact, next Thursday we're 63, and then as we head towards as we get into that last week or close to Christmas, we'll see temperatures in the 50s, even low 60s. So milder temperatures on the way. It's interesting when you take a look at this graphic right here and look at the low temperatures tomorrow morning. We're at 40, well, in fact, Sunday morning, 45 degrees, and then Monday morning, 17. And notice next week we see a couple days, Thursday and Friday, with lows dropping into the low to mid 40s. Here's your Jerry Hunt Super Center 7-day forecast. We're 50 today. That mild 60 on Saturday. Sunday morning, 45, only making it to 48 in the afternoon. We are weather impact alert Sunday night into Monday with those dangerously low temperatures Monday morning. 38 the high Monday, 49 Tuesday. And we talked about the nice rebound, those milder temperatures. Check that out. Next Wednesday, midweek, we're at 58 degrees. And as we head towards the end of next week, we're at 63 degrees. That's your forecast. Have a nice day and a great weekend.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes with all those headlines we've been following throughout the day. Welcome back to Live Impact News. We want to start with a story we first brought you this morning about that flooding in Washington State. I mean, these are the first really overhead aerials that we're seeing. I mean, look at these. Some of these houses just surrounded by water now.
It's an island now.
I know. That's fascinating to see. Some of the roads covered up, too.
And this is a place, I mean, obviously, this is near Seattle. Mm-hmm. No stranger to rain.
Right. So that must mean it's a lot.
There's a lot of rain for it to be...
Yeah, I mean, those people
an issue.
Practically stranded. You can see those cars in the water, too, the ones that didn't make it onto the higher ground. Of course, some of the houses, I'm sure, have water damage as well. That one, it looks like, is partially in it. Fascinating to see this, though. Wow, I mean, look, those cars, it's up to the window.
Is that are those farm animals?
Maybe?
You see that?
They're either dogs
a horse or a cow.
I can't tell how large they are.
That looks like an animal.
But look, you can see on the side of the house, up halfway, more than halfway up the garage. Yeah, I mean, that's fascinating to see.
Yeah, there's a horse.
Wow.
It looks like, holy mackerel.
Yeah. So these are really distressing images for sure. And I know that we'll be getting more throughout the day. I'm curious the rain total and the water total in general. I mean,
we feel for them. We know here in the Carolinas, we know flooding all too well.
We do. So now that the sun's come up, we're getting some more of these images. So I'm sure we'll get more throughout the day. So we will come back to this when we get some more information and some more images. Something else we're watching is the Attorney General in South Carolina is speaking right now. Oh, California, sorry, I'm thinking of the Carolinas. In California is speaking on action against the Trump administration.
So those are the two North Stars that we have, and based on this executive order alone, we may not have both quite yet, but we'll evaluate additional actions that come from the federal administration.
On the H-1B program, what sort of benefit is it to be doing this in coalition with 18 other states? Like, what's the sort of legal reason, and do you feel like that gives the lawsuit kind of more punch?
Most of it is around impact. Every state has a need for workers under the H-1B program to teach in classrooms and educate children, to provide essential, critical health care, life-saving health care, health-improving health care. And as you know, based on the CASA decision by the U.S. Supreme Court, if you don't go to court seeking relief, you don't get relief. That's the general rule. So all 19 states are now eligible to get relief in their state to make sure that this unlawful, unconstitutional, illegal $100,000 fee is removed, and then they can use the program as Congress meant for it to be used, and get fill those gaps in the labor market, and make sure that they have nurses and doctors and teachers doing critical work in the states.
On the National Guard case, you had a temporary win out of Judge Breyer's court this week, but there's still pending appeals in the Ninth Circuit on other orders out of this court. Why do you think the Ninth Circuit hasn't taken action on those yet? I know one was, I believe, on the merits of the case, the other related to the Posse Comitatus Act. Do you think that has to do with the other litigation happening with National Guard usage in other cities?
Possibly. Tough to speculate, but Judge Breyer moved forward with an order pretty rapidly after doing a really thorough review of the papers and the arguments, and didn't wait for additional guidance by the U.S. Supreme Court. Perhaps the Ninth Circuit, at least on our temporary restraining order on the issue of the federalization and deployment of the National Guard in L.A. Back in June, they might be waiting for the U.S. Supreme Court to issue its decision that's before them, that provides a little, could potentially provide more guidance on the operative statute here, 10 U.S.C. 12406, and the question of what the regular forces means. And so that would not be an imprudent thing to do as a court, making a decision in the same space that the U.S. Supreme Court is currently contemplating a pending case on, and might issue some guidance that could assist. So that's a little speculation, but that might be part of the reason.
And then if I may, on the case of Officer Jason Fletcher, who allegedly shot Stephen Taylor out of Alameda, two of the county DAs didn't do anything with the case, and it got punted to your office, and your office didn't do anything, so now it's back in Alameda County. I'm curious if, did your office not see there was enough evidence in this case? Do you agree with DA Dixon that because of what she views as lack of evidence, she's calling for the case to be dismissed?
When there is a case that is naturally in the original jurisdiction of a district attorney's office, that office is responsible for the case. There could be rare circumstances where we might get involved, like if there's a legal, formal conflict of interest. Like a family member is involved of the DA, for example, some kind of conflict of interest like that. They're rare. It rarely happens. But typically, this is the DA's responsibility. So, and then we, when certain decisions are made, for example, a dismissal or a decision not to prosecute, sometimes we have requests to review the case for an abuse of discretion. There's broad prosecutorial discretion rested in district attorneys across our state, and we have the authority to review that discretion to see if it's been abused. And that might happen here, and we opine if it's an appropriate request to us, and we conduct the review. We'll indicate where we land. But as far as I'm concerned right now, this is in the jurisdiction of the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. The case is pending. It's moving. There are decisions to be made by the parties and the court, and we will await to see if our involvement is requested, and should it be requested, we will evaluate it to see if it's an appropriate role for us to take, and if it is, we'll take it and go through the steps from there.
So was this only reported that you've been telling allies that you're considering him as governor? Are you sending an announcement on anytime soon? And it's still the case that no one stands up to you from the field, as you said some months ago?
I have been really grateful, humbled by the outpouring of outreach I've received, encouraging me to consider running for governor. And I had a couple of folks that I was supporting.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, though, we've got an update live from our Jesse Pierre, who is out there working on one of the big stories of the day. So stick with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Live Impact News. As I mentioned, our Jesse Pierre is live following one of the biggest stories, not just of the day, but of the week. We have a heartbreaking update to follow. The missing woman, the search for a Charlotte mother has come to a heartbreaking end. She was found dead, and I know that Jesse Pierre has been speaking to her family and getting those updates. So, Jesse, first of all, walk us through what we have learned and what are you hearing from family here?
You know, I spoke to her father and aunt and, you know, other family members and friends, and everyone's devastated, you know. And actually, I'm holding a flyer of Frasia Baker. We were just here on Wednesday speaking to her father and best friend across the street where they were passing out flyers, where they were desperately searching for her in this area near Washington Heights. Now, if down the street this direction to the left off LaSalle, that is the gas station where she was last seen, and CMPD actually released photos of images from her inside the gas station as well as her car earlier this week. And yesterday, this direction, only about 0.2 miles away at a church off of Sanders, that is where her car was found, and she was found inside and pronounced dead. Unfortunately, as of right now, the cause of her death is still unknown, but I spoke to her father and her aunt, and they say this is devastating. However, they also say someone was arrested today. They say this is a man that Frasia was associated with, and that he was arrested earlier today. Now, we have reached out to CMPD to find out if there are any arrests or charges that they can share at this time, and are waiting to get that information confirmed. But they say that they believe this is the man who was responsible for her death. Julie?
Yeah, and Jesse, I know that this is obviously so tragic for the family, but now the kind of question of who did this and what happens now. I know that you have not heard back with any of that information from CMPD. Has the family said that CMPD has been communicating with them? Do you know anything about that?
So detectives called them earlier today to let them know about an arrest. They said that they are supposed to speak with detectives later today in the evening and so forth. So I'm sure it's going to take some while to figure out exactly what happened. Even when it comes to the cause of death, they also did not know that information as well, and that hasn't been released. From at last check, that has not been released. I think the sad thing also, outside of the loved ones that are struggling, is her 2-year-old son who is with family, and they tell me that he's just, calling for his mom, wondering where his mom is, 2 years old. And that's going to be a hard thing to figure out, the fact that he, to have to deal with the fact that he won't see his mother again. But as of right now, this is going to be probably a lot of long trial and so forth, as far as next steps in, charges and what's going to happen next in, who is responsible for her death. But as of right now, CMPD hasn't confirmed any arrests or charges at this time in Frazia's death.
I know you'll be following this very closely. We appreciate you taking the time to hop on the stream. And for those people who want to see the rest of the story, which you absolutely should, it's at 5 and 6. Jesse, thank you so much. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back here in 2 minutes with some more local and national headlines. Welcome back to Live Impact News. Something we have not hit on yet too much today is the Panthers. So, of course, everyone in Charlotte that's a Panthers fan, pretty excited because I know, good chance of going to the playoffs. Still a couple steps before we get there.
Yeah,
but
they're first in the NFC South. That's huge.
That's huge. We do have, as we typically do on Fridays, our Panthers preview with Nick and Eugene. This was filmed before the Bucks lost last night.
Right,
correct?
so that put the Panthers now in first. Now, best believe if they had known that was going to be a thing, Nick Sturtevant would have been
way more excited.
Hype.
Yep.
Hype. Nick and Eugene would have been
absolutely
bouncing off the walls. So we just want to let you know this was before we knew.
So keep that in mind, but still, of course, super helpful breakdown information.
They're talking about the Saints, what to expect, blah, blah, blah.
Everything you want to know. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. But here is Nick and Eugene with everything you need to know ahead of the matchup with the Saints.
Welcome in week 15 of the NFL season. Carolina Panthers play this week. Look, this is Panthers on the Plus, a.k.a. the Ball Brothers Panthers preview. I got my Ball Brother back.
You know that's right.
And look, we got to lock in, man. This is week 15. We're off the bye week. I'm going to ask you a bye week related question later in the show. How are you feeling, man? Give me. We got a chance to watch the Saints and the Bucks duke it out in Tampa. What are your takeaways from that game? Because we see Saints this week, and then we see Tampa 2 times later.
Well, one, it shows you that the Saints weren't no joke, and two, because they beat Tampa down in Tampa. It was also that didn't look like Baker Mayfield was on his game at all. Like he seemed to be off to me.
Yeah.
And I think that was also he's off a little bit because of the pressure they were able to put.
And that injury too.
Yeah. So he didn't seem to be at full strength a little bit. And I just thought the Saints went down in Tampa and won a game. I mean, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they should, but they are a lot better. And let me just say, maybe I underestimated Tyler Shuck. Maybe I thought that when they were waffling over what quarterback is going to be there, and they made a decision before our game that he's going to be the guy. Well, he's proven to be more than just a guy. He's proven to be a guy who's able to put some wins together.
What's worse, playing in the freezing temperatures or playing in like that sloppy, humid, wet weather? It was a sloppy game.
Yeah,
man.
Freezing temperatures. I just don't. I mean,
you told me about this Saturday.
Yeah, freezing temperatures. I'm glad they paid me because that's the only way I'm playing in these freezing temperatures. However, when a game is sloppy, when if the conditions are sloppy, it's sloppy for both teams. So you just know that going into it, and now it comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. The fact that Tyler Shuck can run, it's another dimension that he has. And I forgot LSU. I forgot that. Oh, hold on, he's a running quarterback. He got some skill level with his feet.
Yeah,
kind of remind me of Josh Allen. He's looked to be a big guy running the rock, dude, and running it effectively. So I think we got our work cut out for us as we go down to the Saints.
Yeah.
However, coming off the bye with the excitement of a Rams win, I bet you, and I know this for a fact, that locker room is excited to be in a position that they are in. With 7-6, we're in a position. We're 7-6, right? 7-6. We're in a position where the narrative now is, hey, if you win a couple of more games and you beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you can find yourself in having a divisional home game, winning your division.
And if they lose another division game, I think they play the Falcons again.
They play the Falcons.
Then we just have to beat the Bucs.
Yes, we just have to beat the Bucs.
And obviously the Saints. For a young team like this, I know we say it all the time when it comes to veteran teams, that rest, that week of rest. What does that do for a young team like this?
For our team, it came at the right time because we needed to get guys healthy. We had J.C. Horn, which was one of our best corners, one of the best corners in the league, was in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
You gave him an extra 2 weeks to get ready, dude. An extra 2 weeks to let your head clear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
All right? There's talk about Hunt coming back.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, we were getting right and healthy at the right time because it's in December. And here it is. You win in November, win in December, you typically punch a ticket to the playoffs.
Right.
Now we're healthy. I'm just saying, dude, I like our chances going in down to New Orleans to go ahead and win a big game.
And that's why the NFL, and you can speak about this, man, obviously as a former player, man, it's so tricky because you can start so hot, right? You're so sure of yourself. You win that mid-year Super Bowl, right? The Colts, for example. And then injuries can just kind of tear things apart.
Decimate you. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
See, you're right, because what would you rather do? Would you rather want to be the team that started real fast and kind of just kind of coasted, and then here it is, like you see the Eagles, you see the losses that have been accumulating, or do you want to be the team that comes out in November and December and you're hot? I would submit to you, I want to be November, December, because that means I'm playing really good ball, and that means I got a team, a collection of guys who are not hurt, who are battle tested and battle ready. The biggest thing that happens for teams is that because of attrition, you lose guys. You lose some of your top players. And Mike Evans thinking about coming back. I think Mike Evans is supposed to be coming back for Tampa next week, this week, coming up week. I mean, he's been out, dude. So when you're talking about that, dude, when you lose your players, We had Chuba hurt, we had Rico Dowdle hurt, and they were all both playing.
Yeah.
They weren't playing at a full set. Now
they're healthy.
What?
They are healthy.
Please.
I'm glad I don't have to sign a 44-year-old quarterback. Sorry, Colts fans. But shout out to NC State. All right, so we know what the offense should look like. We have a blueprint of what the offense should look like. Balanced running attack. Even if Chuba and Rico are not getting 100 yards a pop, they are very vital in the passing game. We know Bryce being consistent in the pocket, not turning over the ball. We know what the offense should look like. However, we came off a big win against Green Bay and stunk it up against the Saints.
Yeah, because they loaded the box, and what they really dared Coach Canales, and they dared Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Beat me with your arm.
Can Bryce Young beat them?
Yes, with his arm.
Has he proven that?
Absolutely. Bryce Young can beat you with his arm. He's proven that to me, no doubt about that. We've had some things that went wrong in that game and did not capitalize on. I'm like, dude,
yeah.
Where are my Panthers at, man? This is the wrong team. Somebody stole these guys. Invasion of the body snatchers or something, right? But I think now where we are, and now as December, and you know, there's only 4 games left.
Yeah.
You know that there's only 4 games left. It's done. And now you get a chance to really find focus. Every game is a championship game. And the fact that you are in the conversation, that is huge. And so I think you leave, they're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is going, the Saints are going to go ahead and load the box, try to stop Chuba, try to stop Rico, may have some success, and dare Bryce to go ahead and beat him. And then I'm going to tell you what. Jalen Coker, T-Mac, Leggett, who else?
Mitchell Evans.
Mitchell Evans. Out the backfield, Chuba and Dowdle. Y'all got to eat.
Okay.
When you get the rock, you got to eat. When you you can't say this, I'll get the next one, or I'll catch the next one. You can't say that, not in that environment. You got to seize the moment. And so this is about being consistent, and I know we talked about that.
Yeah.
How do you be consistent? Well, you seize the moment when you have the chance to go to make the tackle, to make the sack, to make the interception, to force the fumble, or to catch the ball, to move the chains. You seize that moment.
Yeah.
Each individual seizes the moment. And when you're doing that, that's playing consistent ball. That's what they need to go ahead and do.
Making those plays in the red zone, also making those plays on 4th down, which we've been pretty good on those big plays.
I know.
Jalen Coker, man, he's making some big catches.
Jalen Coker, I thought before he got hurt, I thought he was the heir apparent to go ahead and be one of the starters. Okay. I thought it was going to be McMillan, Tetrador McMillan, and Jalen Coker. And then I thought Leggett would be that third receiver. I still see that kind of look like maybe it's brewing. Jalen Coker can catch. He can catch.
Does he remind you of Muhsin Muhammad?
Muhsin Muhammad.
Because he has both big guys.
He got the big body. He got great hands.
Yeah.
You know, and he can post you up, dude. He can put you on his hip and post you up.
Oh,
you know,
man.
and so he can extend. And now, like, if I'm behind him and he extends his hands out this way, I got to go ahead and attack the elbow because I ain't gonna be able to reach the ball. All right, so you got to go ahead and do different stuff to go ahead and to make it bend. So you got to do all that type of stuff right there. He's that guy. He's the type of guy like when Olsen would do. Put a defensive back on his back. And then he said, okay, I'll just body you out. I'm just going to put you in the low post and box you out, dude. I'm going down in the low post like LeBron James right there, and I'm passing the ball in, and ain't nothing you can do about it because he's a big body receiver. And that's a great thing. Muhsin Muhammad had that.
I don't know if you could guard Jalen Coker, man. I don't know. In your prime, I don't know.
Oh, hold on. My prime? Oh, hold on. You go back right now? No. No.
The way they signing old quarterbacks, hey, man, they might.
In my prime? Oh, that's a different story right there. I'm sorry, Coach. I'm sorry, Coach. You're going to lose that battle. I'm sorry. It ain't going to happen. Not on my watch.
I just had to get Eugene started.
I'm sorry, man. You going to win that battle. Not my prime. I'll holler at you, dog.
Speaking of those veteran defensive players, I got to mention Demario Davis, Chase Young, Cam Jordan. They gave us fits.
Always. That group is no dope.
How do we compare? Is it getting the ball out quicker? Is it just, hey, man, the run game is 2-3 yards a pop, just keep feeding the rock to Chuba and Rico?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have 28 sacks or maybe 33 sacks, that group, right?
It's a pretty good group.
It's a pretty good group, but it's probably down from what they typically will end up with. We have to protect against these guys.
Yeah.
They're really good. But I think what we did, the fourth down plays that we did against the Rams, both fourth down plays, right? The one to Jalen and one to
Colbert.
to Matt. Miller, right?
Yeah.
The blocking was extraordinary on them because they did 2 deep over routes. Okay, a deep over. I got Leggett coming from this side, going to end up on the other side of the field, and I got McMillan coming from this side, right? McMillan's high, Leggett is lower, right? It looked like they're about to run into each other, right? For that play to develop, 1001, 1002, 1003. It's going to be about 3 seconds for you to go ahead and cross and to get to where you need to get to. Across the field. Right there with a guy, and you got a guy that's chasing you. T-Mac had a guy that was right in his hip, and then Bryce Young, to Bryce Young credit, he throws it open. What do I mean by that? He makes him, as he's going on his route, he throws the ball deeper and down the field. Not across the field, but down the field. McMillan adjusts his route, and now he stacks the defensive back. Now the defensive back is behind him, and now he's pulling away from him. Like, dude, that's a beautiful play and beautiful recognition by Bryce and our T-Mac to be on the same page to go ahead to adjust the route on the fly.
And it's, like you said, throwing your receiver open, giving your playmaker a chance to make a play.
You know what? Steve Smith Sr. said this too. I thought the same thing. I was a big fan of where's that linebacker, where's that edge rusher in the draft. I want that cat right there. I'm a defensive cat. So I'm like, hey, I want that dude. I take it back. Dan Morgan, you know what you're doing. Dave Canales, you know what you're doing. You don't need my help at all because Tetairoa McMillan is the right choice. That young man right there has changed the face of that receiver core. He's that guy. So other teams, when they look at him, they go like this, hey, they got a guy. They got a guy. This is a dude we got to be worried about. This dude right here will eat you alive. And that's what he's done. He's been able to bring some vitality, some vibrancy, and some confidence to Bryce Young, and also that receiving and quarterbacking crew.
Look, we may not need you in the draft room. We need you here, Eugene. We need you here, man. You're about a part of the show, man.
I hear you, dog.
I'm just saying.
We break it down, dog.
We break it down. We'll break down some more. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here at Panthers on the Plus, a.k.a. the Ball Brothers Panthers Preview Week 15. We'll be right back.
We're going to take a quick break as well. We'll be back in 2 minutes with some more of your Panthers preview. Stick with us. All right, we're going to head straight back out to Nick and Eugene with a preview of what you need to be paying attention to for the Panthers. Again, just want to mention that this was filmed before the Bucs lost and the Panthers took the lead in the division. So keep in mind they'd be a little bit more excited if they knew, but still helpful information. So let's take a listen in.
All right, welcome back. Week 15, Panthers on the Plus, a.k.a. the Ball Brothers Panthers preview. I said welcome back. Also, welcome back, Maury. Welcome back, J.C. Horn. Welcome back, looks like, Roseboom. What do these guys mean? What does it mean to have these guys back Week 15 against the Saints?
Wow, I'm telling you what, being healthy as a ball club, that your coaches can count on you when they draw a play designed for you to go ahead and shine. It's huge.
Yeah.
When you get an injured player, it limits what you can do. Yeah, you do kind of the same things,
right,
but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Derek Brown going out the game is not the same. J.C. Horn going out of the game. All right, Thornton comes in the game, does a wonderful job, right? But it's not the same.
Yeah.
And so what coaches love, they love stability and they love consistency. They love knowing that I can count on this dude right here, because that means I can call these kind of plays for this cat. This kind of plays for this cat. This kind of plays for this cat. Now getting these guys back in the mix, they can go ahead and say, let's unleash these boys. Let's go ahead and do this, because we can do the things that we wanted to do, and we're not limited to it by personnel and by choice of personnel. So I love the fact that we got guys coming back. The great thing about Roseboom is that he got a motor that don't quit. That dude is all over the field at the linebacker spot, right? And it's almost like he's too aggressive and too impatient.
Right. I think you mentioned that earlier in the season.
It's almost like he's too aggressive, but I can always dial that back, but I can't dial it up.
Yeah.
You know, and so having him back in the mix, this and that, I think you get to use some of that aggression. Guess what? If I'm Coach Gerald, I'm sending Roseboom off the edge, down in the A gap.
Because they have been sending Maury.
Yeah, you got Mary. You got what's the name? I'm sending them boys, man. I'm gonna let them dudes eat, and I'm gonna get in the face of Tyler Shuck, dude. Shuck. Guess what? You're gonna see a dude in your face. You're gonna have a dude in your face.
Is that the key to get a young guy who is? Panthers are confident, but the Saints are confident. That young quarterback is also confident, and he's also looking back like, man, we got our first win against the Panthers. I can do this again. Getting pressure on him is just
but the same team that you play again is not the same team that you played the first time.
Okay.
It's not, because they do the self-scouting and they look at the game and they say the places where they messed up and they go like this. Okay, we're going to shore this up. Oh, we should have attacked here. Oh, we should have done this.
Yeah.
Look, when the Carolina Panthers go back and look at that 17-7 game, they're going to go like this. Man, we missed an opportunity here. There's an opportunity here.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity here. Boom. Shall we go ahead and not try those things again, given the same defenses, or maybe doing like a little twist of it?
Yeah.
Of course. They're going to do all that stuff. And those plays would have been consequential if we would have made those plays. Of course they would have been.
Yeah.
And so when we're looking at this, it's not the same. Now, the great thing about this game is a divisional opponent. Throw records out the window. This is a fight, dude.
Oh, yeah. It's a dog fight.
It's a dog fight.
What is it like playing
I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. You're going to punch me in the mouth. You punch me in the mouth, it's going to be some, you're going to get a 1-2 punch, a 3-piece combo, dude. You're getting a 3-piece combo.
With a biscuit on the side.
With a biscuit on the side.
Hey, man, don't forget my honey either.
Oh, yeah, watch out now. But you're going to get the 3-piece combo, though.
But what is it like to play inside the Superdome? Because the Panthers, it's hard. That's been one of our divisional opponents since the early 2000s that we have not had good luck against historically. But playing inside the Superdome,
and Bryce has not had great games against them historically.
His first game ever against the Saints, boy.
So Bryce is looking to go ahead and rewrite that narrative, no doubt. But to play in that stadium is very, very loud.
Yeah,
the sound bounces off everywhere. From the top to the sides, it's a crescendo of noise.
Yeah.
It just is. It's not as loud as the Seattle Seahawks stadium, but it borders on jet plane loud.
Whew.
Like being behind a jet plane and here, it's like that.
So Trayvon Wallace, the guy who was wearing the green dot.
Hand signals.
Okay.
Hand signals. So they'll be working on that stuff all week long. Hand signals. They would have been talking about this. Hey, now here's the thing. When the offense is on the field, the Saints offense, it's going to be quiet.
Oh, yeah.
So you can talk. However, when the Panthers are on the field, it's going to be loud. So it's going to more so affect the offense than it will affect the defense.
One guy we got to talk to about that offense, Chris Olave, man. He had a great game against us in Week 10. I know you said the same team. They're not the same team coming in from different weeks, but man, he had 100.
But they took the shot.
Yeah, and I think JC gambled a bit, and I get it. As a corner, you want to kind of bait the offense.
Well, I don't think it's that JC baited him as much as JC, I thought, employed the wrong technique. JC, they running down on that go route. They're running and they're looking at each other face to face. The ball's coming in here. He's running. He can see and he can go ahead and lean and look at the ball. What happens when you lean to look up at the ball right here? You start to go ahead and get out of sync with the run. And dude, all it takes for me to do is this. If I put my hand on you just ever so slightly, just a little hand check, that little bump will push you off. He ended up slipping and falling, right?
Yeah.
Now, I contend this. If J.C. Horn's running and he decides to put his back, as he's done before, and run down on that go route, and now he takes his elbow and he can go ahead and guide his elbow on him, that's a different thing. Now Olave got to put a Randy Moss on you, but the way J.C. Horn has been playing and the way he's been jumping and he's been timing the ball, that's an interception. That's not a push down for a touchdown. That's not that. Or the bump into for a touchdown. I thought he just employed the wrong technique. I think he changed that technique up when he's down the field on him.
I was about to say, what's the mentality going into that week? Are you like, man, I know I had a bad game or I didn't have a great game against our divisional opponent, and man, they made me look bad on film.
Pride.
Okay.
This is about pride because here it is. Everybody saw it.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Oh yeah, we saw it.
Look, when you do something that everybody sees and everybody wants to go ahead and chime in about how awful that you were or this, that, that stays with you. And guess what? When you get ready to play that team, it's going to come back up and go like this. Hey, man, want you to do. Hey, man, that the cat who did. Man, it shouldn't. Dude, that looked like the dude. He had the ball head. Yeah, he was wearing number 53. So they remember that.
Yeah.
You remember it. And no way, you're waiting to change the narrative because you're a professional football player.
Yeah.
You're the best at what you do. I know that J.C. Horn is a circle like this. You wait till I see Olave again. I know he has to say that to himself. And Jack said, when you come on my side, you wait till I see him.
Because Mike Jack is looking like, I don't want to jinx him, but he's looking like a number one quarterback on any other team.
Dude,
right now.
He's like, Mike Jack has thrown down the gauntlet and said to all the receivers, look, if you think it's just J.C. Horn with the 5 interceptions, I got 3 of these joints right here.
Yep.
But when I'm covering people, you better make a fantastic catch because guess what? You ain't going to get nothing. Don't forget, Puka Nacua caught that ball towards the end, down the field near the end zone with that one-handed catch. Dude, he brings that in, but Mike Jack was with them the entire time was knocking the ball out. That was a great catch.
Great coverage.
Right? So no one said, hey, great coverage.
Yeah,
they just said great catch, right?
Yeah, catch of the year.
I know, great coverage, but I'm a defensive back. I'm like, dude, I'll take that coverage all day long when you're making a receiver make the most incredible catch of his career, or one of the most incredible catches of his career.
Who needs to step up on that defense? Because Derrick Brown has been Superman on that defensive line, but we're not really getting a pass rush. That's my opinion. But who needs to step up?
I think that it's going to come down like Nick Scorton.
Yeah.
I think I need to see even more off the edge. DJ Wanham. I need to see more off the edge because I believe that you're going to see backers up in the A gaps, people mugging, getting close to the line of scrimmage and what that's going to do is going to make everybody go single on the offensive line, one person blocking whoever. And then now you're on the outside, I need you to be like a Mike Rucker.
Okay.
I need you to be like Julius Peppers, but like maybe a lesser Julius Peppers.
Play big, but they're agile.
If you're putting pressure on the quarterback, if you're getting a hit on the quarterback, even if you don't get the sack, but you're putting that pressure, I guarantee you Tyler Shuck will be uncomfortable, and he's not going to be able to set his feet, and he ain't going to be in the final, Lavi, like he without the pressure on him. You got to put pressure on the quarterback. So I think it's incumbent, imperative, crucial, vital, all those important words, that the guy who's on the edge, DJ Wonnum, Nick Scorton, Emilion, or whoever on the edge, dude, you got to go ahead and get that sack, dude.
Oh, man.
You got to get your Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, Julius Peppers, Mike Rucker. You got to get that on.
Come on, man. Come on, defensive line. I believe in you. I know you're young, but I believe in your defensive line. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with some quick hitters right after the break.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here as well. We'll be back in 2 minutes with some more from Nick and Eugene. All right, welcome back. It is just past 2:30 here in the Live Impact studio. We're going to head right back out to Nick and Eugene. One more time, just want to remind you that they shot this before the Bucks lost and the Panthers took over the leaderboard in the conference or the division. So they would probably be a little bit more excited if they knew, but still very helpful information and a good preview of what we can expect against the Saints.
Here on Panthers on the Plus, aka the Ball Brothers Panthers preview. I'm excited, man. We playing football this week. All right, week 15. I got my Ball brother in, Eugene Robinson. Time for some quick hitters. All right, a lot of hype around the Panthers. How do you avoid the noise, man?
Coach Canales has been he's been really talking about all week long. This is a championship. The last 4 games. Yeah. You got to think every game is a championship. The excitement level that's in the locker room right now, coming off a bye and coming off a win, guys could not wait to get back to go to work because they realize what's in front of them. Seeing something that's a little bit more tangible in front of you is different from in the beginning of the season and not being able to see that. You're just kind of going through the motions a little bit. Now that you do see what's at stake, that you do have you can take a bite of the pie or a slice of the pie, it's a different mentality. And now I think you see a different team. So to your point is that I think this is a totally different team. It's not the same. This win against the Rams was consequential and it was huge because it said you belong and it said that you're one of the teams to be reckoned with.
Oh man, 4:25 kickoff. We haven't gotten a lot of 4:30 kickoffs playing in New Orleans. Does that play a factor in getting ready? Because we're used to this 1 p.m. kickoff.
Man, we'll play you anywhere. We'll play you. We'll play you in the snow. We'll play you on the cement. We'll play you over there. We'll play you at Memorial Stadium. We'll play you at Bank of America. Where we at? It don't even matter, because what supersedes all that of where you're playing at is the fact that you can punch a ticket to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dude, knowing that that's an end goal and it's tangible totally trumps where we play at. We can play anywhere you want to go ahead and play. Out in the parking lot, do a WCNC. We go ahead and get down right there.
Sideline bus, baby.
Hey, sideline bus. We get down with you right there.
Oh, man. Okay.
Don't matter. Don't matter.
Don't matter. X Factor this week for the Panthers.
The X Factor, I think, is going to be this two. I think that the Saints are going to go ahead and say, Bryce Young, we don't believe that you can beat us. That's what I think they're going to say. So we're going to load the box up. We're going to try to stop the run. All right, that's what we're going to do. 8 men, try to stop the run, and see if you can go ahead and beat us on the outside. We don't think your receivers can beat us. We don't think that you can go ahead and beat us. I think this also is going to be about Coach Canales. One of the formulas that we were able to go ahead and do is we were able to control the clock.
Yeah.
Third period against the Rams, we had it for like 12 minutes.
The best quarter of football probably.
Dude, we ran the ball 35 times.
Yeah.
Dude, so I think this is going to be the Bryce Young, also Coach Canales, and what you're able to do offensively. That's what's going to be, I think, the referendum on them.
Look, we're going down to SEC country, and who dominated the SEC? You got it, Bryce Young. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, you put it out there. Hey, Bryce Young is familiar with that. And see, Bryce Young is not. It's going to be a huge crowd in there, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be loud.
Yeah.
Dude, man, the dude, he used to that, dude.
He used to that.
What?
Come on, man.
Huh? What?
We used to this.
What's going on? I'm used to this, dude.
We used to putting on a good show.
So it's going to be don't forget, the Saints play is a tough place to play, no doubt about it. But it's not like you're not playing for something.
Yeah.
It's totally different if we about to play the Saints and we're 3-10 or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we're 3-10. Totally different attitude, totally different thing. We're going like this. Hey, if we win, it is what it is. We got what we got.
Yep.
Our season ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
That settles in. That's not what it is. That's not the narrative right now.
Look, we're in the final stretch of the season, and make sure you hang with us.
Hang with us.
Panthers on the Plus each Thursday night, 9 p.m. with my bald brother.
You know that's right.
Eugene Robinson. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with hopefully.
Hope some good news for you.
Good news. Some good
Don't
news.
nobody bring me no bad news. No bad news. You don't know nothing about that. That's weird.
I don't. We'll see you next.
All right, definitely some exciting news now that we know that they are moving on and maybe potentially head into the playoffs. So we're going to pay attention to that over the next couple of days. Definitely hit that pretty hard and watch the game this weekend. But we're going to take another quick break here. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back. Almost 2:40 here in the Live Impact studio. It's time, I guess, for another check of your forecast. Tomorrow is definitely the day if you want to go outside and do something that isn't related to snowing or skiing. But watch out for Sunday into Monday. It's going to get real cold. Larry Sprinkle has the latest.
Good Friday afternoon, Larry Sprinkle here. An improvement over the gloomy skies we saw this morning. Check it out. All of our cameras looking A-OK from Monroe out to Lake Norman. Dallas, that's our tower cam over in Gaston County. And uptown looking good. I think it's going to be an afternoon with some sunshine, fair weather, high thin cirrus clouds in order. As we check and show you what's going to happen as far as futurecasts, I think the best chance of snowfall over the next several days will be in the North Carolina mountains. In fact, we go from Saturday night into Sunday morning. A significant amount in some of the higher elevations. Once you get up towards Beach Mountain, Sugar Mountain, Grandfather Mountain, those areas, they could see several inches, maybe 2 to 4 inches. Around the Boone Blowing Rock area, they could see maybe up to an inch, inch and a half, a couple inches in some of the higher elevations nearby there. The big area that's going to see a lot of snowfall will be north along Interstate 77. You get travel plans over the weekend, especially Saturday, Sunday, early Monday, heading into parts of West Virginia and Pennsylvania. Those areas could see anywhere from about 4 to 7 inches of snowfall. That would be up Interstate 77 northbound, so something to think about if you got travel plans for the weekend. For today, sunshine, fair weather clouds out there, upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. There may be a couple spots east and southeast actually making the low 50s, and then Saturday, milder temperatures, highs near 60. Unfortunately, Sunday night, a real Arctic blast, the coldest air of the season so far moving in. We do see some weather impacts, and that would be late Sunday night, especially after midnight, all the way through Monday morning, probably somewhere from about midnight to maybe 8 a.m. Impacts bitter cold. Lows in the teens locally. I think in the mountains, really some dangerous conditions up there. They could see wind chills around 0 degrees on Monday morning. So here's what we're talking about. Sunday evening all the way to Monday morning, lows in the teens. Colder wind chills here locally. We could see the wind chill, how it feels outside, probably somewhere around 10, 11 degrees. Limited time outside. Avoid exposing skin, and then protect the pets and the pipes. Something to think about. Make sure you also check on the elderly, someone in your neighborhood. Make sure that people are going to be warm, because it will be dangerously cold as we head from midnight into early on Monday morning. For today, a cold day, but not too bad. We're near 50 degrees. If you're out and about around 3 o'clock, upper 40s near 50. And between about 6 and 8, we go from 45 to right around 41 degrees under mostly clear skies at that time. Here's our 3-day forecast. Tomorrow, a mild day. That's 60 degrees is going to be nice. So the best day for the weekend, the award winner Saturday. Sunday is high of 48, and Monday we struggle to make it to 38 degrees for a high temperature, with lows dropping into the teens early Monday morning. It's interesting. We look at our 10-day forecast, near 50 today, 60 tomorrow, and look at that. Monday, that's 38 degrees. We're going to see a nice rebound in the temperatures as we get to the end of next week. In fact, next Thursday we're 63, and then as we head towards as we get into that last week or close to Christmas, we'll see temperatures in the 50s, even low 60s. So milder temperatures on the way. It's interesting when you take a look at this graphic right here and look at the low temperatures tomorrow morning. We're at 40, well, in fact, Sunday morning, 45 degrees, and then Monday morning, 17. And notice next week we see a couple days, Thursday and Friday, with lows dropping into the low to mid 40s. Here's your Jerry Hunt Super Center 7-day forecast. We're 50 today. That mild 60 on Saturday, Sunday morning, 45, only making it to 48 in the afternoon. We are weather impact alert Sunday night into Monday with those dangerously low temperatures Monday morning. 38 the high Monday, 49 Tuesday. And we talked about the nice rebound, those milder temperatures. Check that out. Next Wednesday, midweek, we're at 58 degrees. And as we head towards the end of next week, we're at 63 degrees. That's your forecast. Have a nice day and a great weekend.
All right, so definitely you're going to want to bundle up if you're out there Sunday into Monday. Something to watch out for sure. We have been paying attention to a lot of local stories, a lot that we're watching. We don't want to lose sight of our nation's capital, though. Still waiting to see what happens now with healthcare. The government shutdown did end. We're still waiting, though, of course, for what happens with healthcare. That was at the center of that division between Republicans and Democrats. So Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader, did speak earlier today, that being one of the topics he touched on, but answering quite the gamut of questions because there's so much going on right now. So let's get out to him and see what he had to say.
Football.
and is further evidence of the fact that Republicans never intended to keep their promise to lower costs on day one, because they haven't done a damn thing to make that happen.
Leader Jeffries.
Hold on.
Mr. Leader.
Who's speaking?
Mr. Leader, can I just ask, yesterday you voted present on this effort on the motion to table the impeachment resolution against President Trump. A number of your Democratic colleagues did as well. Do you think that the president has committed impeachable offenses?
We issued a statement on that motion to table, and that statement speaks for itself. Thanks.
Leader Jeffries, thank you very much. Eric Christie with The Independent. Just now, the Oversight Committee released more photos and more documents from the Epstein files. We have 7 legislative days until the Department of Justice. Why was it important to release those documents and those photos? And what else should happen if the Trump administration doesn't comply? What can Congress do if Congress doesn't comply with this? Or the DOJ doesn't comply with
Well, the
this?
so-called Department of Justice under the Trump administration needs to comply with the law, and we as Democrats, led by Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the Oversight Committee, are going to continue to make sure that we're holding this administration accountable. These people who are part of the Trump administration, including Donald Trump and J.D. Vance himself, all said for years that they wanted to release the Epstein files. Then they come into office and do the exact opposite. Obstruct and obfuscate, hide stuff from the American people. All we want is full transparency so that the American people can get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's what the Epstein survivors deserve and have demanded. And we're going to make sure that the Department of Justice complies.
Thanks, Leader Jeffries. You say that at least 4 Republicans are needed to cross the aisle to get health care done. Well, there are nearly a dozen Republicans who have signed on to the discharge petition for both the Fitzpatrick bill and for the Gottheimer bill. Why not endorse one of them or both of them and encourage your members to sign on as well to get the ball rolling in that respect?
We're actively reviewing those 2 discharge petitions, and we'll have more to say about it early next week. But what is clear, time is running out. Where were these Republican ideas over the last several months? You know what? They were so busy shutting the government down. Donald Trump's busy playing golf. They could find $40 billion to bail out their right-wing dictator friend in Argentina. They're pardoning people like George Santos and Rudolph Giuliani. And they're running around trying to promote their one big ugly bill, which enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. That's what got the ball rolling on the Republican health care crisis. And as a result, hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers are closing all across the country, including in rural America. They ripped food assistance out of the mouths of hungry children, veterans, and seniors, and they did all of that with great urgency so they could reward their billionaire donors with massive tax breaks. And they made those tax breaks permanent. And now at the 11th hour, they're scrambling. It still remains the case that the most direct path forward is a straightforward extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. And there's one discharge petition that does that. And it has 214 signatures. And all we need are 4 Republicans to join us.
Just to follow up on that, though, I understand that your ideal path is a clean extension, but Republicans have made clear that they will not go for a clean extension. So would you be willing to settle for something that's not a clean extension in the name of saving these subsidies?
We're going to evaluate every single good faith proposal, but it has to meaningfully provide certainty to the American people who are at risk of having their health care ripped away from them. These Republicans made those massive tax breaks for their billionaire donors permanent. And we've said from the very beginning, we just want to make sure that everyday Americans, middle-class Americans, working-class Americans, have a similar level of certainty. That's not too much to ask for in the wealthiest country in the history of the world.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries. Yesterday, President Trump signed the executive order on artificial intelligence seeking to block the states from regulating the AI. Specifically, DOJ, and I want to ask you about specifics in this EO. It directs DOJ to create a litigation task force and challenge any state that they view doesn't comply with whatever the national standard is. It also gives powers to Secretary of Commerce to impose restrictions on state funding and also aims to regulate truthful output. So my questions to you, I have several. First, what is your position on the EO? Should Americans be concerned that the AI policy is being set through executive order instead and litigation instead of open debate in the Congress? If this approach becomes a standard, what is going to stop any future president from using DOJ to go against and challenge any state law they want? And finally, is this EO about innovation or is it about expanding presidential powers?
Well, Donald Trump has tried to conduct himself like a wannabe king from the very beginning. The American people are clearly rejecting that approach. And on artificial intelligence, this is a complicated thing, a transformative innovation that has the possibility of bringing great societal benefits, particularly in the areas of medicine and education, as it relates to reaching young people who live in historically under-resourced parts of the country. But at the same period of time, it's our view that this transformative technology in the hands of bad actors presents risks of creating societal harm. And this is why a thoughtful approach is needed. Not a my way or the highway executive order. In our view, related to Donald Trump's most recent action connected to artificial intelligence, is that he doesn't have the authority to do it. And ultimately, it's going to get struck down in court.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Some members of your party are calling for the abolition of ICE following the administration's very aggressive crackdown on illegal immigration. Is that a viewpoint that you believe has a place in your party right now as Democrats strive to take back power after the midterms?
Who exactly has made that?
Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez has, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez has, also Patty Garcia, who is running to replace Chuy Garcia, Graham Plattner as well. They have said that this should not exist and it should cease.
Yeah, I haven't had a conversation with any of those individuals about their perspective. What we do know is that the American people believe that Donald Trump's deportation efforts have been completely and totally out of control, unacceptable, and un-American. That's the reality of what Donald Trump has unleashed on law-abiding immigrant communities all across America. And the American people are rejecting it, which is why Donald Trump is also underwater in terms of public approval on immigration. Now, we believe, as Democrats broadly, that we need a strong and a secure border consistent with our history and experience as a nation anchored in the rule of law. Donald Trump doesn't believe in the rule of law, and neither do his sycophants who serve in Congress. We fail to understand that we're a separate and co-equal branch of government, not a wholly owned subsidiary of the Trump cartel, because that's how they behave. So we believe in the rule of law, and part of that is a strong border. But at the same period of time, we're a nation of immigrants. And so we're going to continue to defend dreamers, defend farm workers, defend farm country, defend law-abiding immigrant families and communities across the country who are part of the ingredient of American exceptionalism. That's our position. And we do have a broken immigration system. Everybody thoughtful who's taken a look at it understands that. But the way to solve it is not a my way or the highway approach, and it certainly is not the Trump deportation machine. He promised that he was going to target violent felons. No one would have any issues with that. He's not deporting violent felons. He's deporting law-abiding immigrants, veterans who served this country, children who are actually American citizens, grandmothers and grandfathers, gardeners, and communities across the country are rejecting it.
Mr. Leader, as sort of a follow-up to that question, today Congressman Abe Hamadeh is inviting families who've had family members killed by undocumented immigrants to the Capitol.
Who is that?
Abe Hamadeh of Arizona.
Okay.
And I want to ask about 2026 and how you're encouraging border state Democrats to respond to messaging such as this, because it was a big issue in 2024, and it appears that some Republicans are ready to message on it in 26.
We'll let border state Democrats speak for themselves.
As the party leader, as a leader.
I've got great confidence in them. I think I just articulated our view on immigration generally, and that, I believe, is a position that's broadly held by Democrats all across the country. Listen, Republicans are desperate to try to find a path out of the electoral disaster that they're experiencing right now. This year has been a complete and total failure for the American people. And Republicans are on the run. The reason why this whole gerrymandering scheme was launched is because Republicans know that if a free and fair election were held, they're done in the House of Representatives. It was always a myth and a fantasy that some big mandate was attached to what happened in November of 2024 that we never bought into. Why? Because we're only 3 seats short. This is the closest majority that any party has had since the Great Depression, and it's all now falling apart. And everybody sees it. And they can't project this fake strength to the American people anymore, because they failed the American people on the economy, on health care, and the extremism that has been unleashed on the American people is completely and totally unacceptable. So our view generally, as Democrats, we're going to solve problems for everyday Americans, because we believe in this great country of ours. You work hard, you play by the rules, you should be able to live the good life. An affordable life, a comfortable life. Good paying job, good housing, good health care, good education for your children, and a good retirement. Which means to my Republican colleagues, keep your extreme hands off of Social Security and Medicare at all times. And far too many people in this country, wealthiest country in the history of the world, are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck because there is an affordability crisis. It's not a scam, it's not a hoax, it's a crisis. And Democrats are committed to doing something about it. Republicans continue to bury their heads in the sand. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries going over some reporter questions, asking him everything about healthcare to the relationship between Democrats and Republicans right now, and of course Trump's immigration crackdown. So lots of things that are still paying closely attention to out of Washington that we'll check back in with. We're going to take a quick break and get back to some more local news in about 2 minutes. All right, welcome back to Live Impact News. It is 3 o'clock on the dot, which means that we are awaiting President Donald Trump's bill signing ceremony out of the Oval Office. We have not seen that shot come up yet, but we're waiting for it really any minute now. So once we get that live feed, we will bring that to you live. Usually in the Oval Office, that means that there might be some reporters in there able to ask questions. So definitely always something that we want to get to as soon as possible. In the meantime, while we wait for that, we want to get back to that press conference from earlier today in Stanley County with some more details on the charges and investigation into Justin Brigham, the now former co-owner of Sycamore Brewing. Of course, this story has made headlines all across the state after he was charged with statutory rape of a minor. So some more details released today. We're going to get out to the Stanley County Sheriff's Office. And again, if we do see President Trump pop up, we'll get back out to that as well.
Do you want to give a brief overview of the case to start?
Just a brief overview. This incident occurred on December the 10th in the evening hours. Deputies responded to a residence where an adult male was found inside of a home in a juvenile's room. Later, deputies found the gentleman away from the home and was taken into custody for questioning and was later charged.
The relationship between the suspect and the minor, how did they meet? What can you share about that?
It's our understanding it's a social media platform that's common.
And how important is it for parents to kind of be aware of, dangers of social media?
This should speak volumes. My kids are grown and gone, but for my grandkids at this point, yes, this should be a huge eye-opening experience. Parents need to pay attention to their kids.
That suspect was located in a car, undressed. What was his reaction when you folks came up on him, and how far away was the car from the actual crime scene?
I'm not sure how far away it was. Understanding he was undressed, but now how far, I'm not sure.
His general reaction to being caught?
I would imagine it was like anybody else that's found in that kind of state. But nobody's told me what his reaction was. I know okay. Next.
Small town, how troubling is this to happen in your jurisdiction and really anywhere, but just how troubling is this incident for you guys to be investigating? Where does this?
You never expect it to happen to rural county, Stanley County. You don't expect it. I hate to say it's more common in bigger cities, but I mean it is just because of volumes of people. But no, it's a horrific crime for sure.
And as part of your investigation, are you trying to determine if this was a one-off incident or if this potentially could expand to other?
Yes, we'll look at all avenues and aspects of it.
So the two met online. Was it an arranged meeting that we're aware of at this point? Was he supposed to be there? Or was this kind of a surprise visit?
That I'm not sure. That's still being investigated. They're looking into that.
There's going to be a lot of parents who, for lack of a better term, are freaking out about something like this because social media is so prevalent in our society. What kind of tips can you give to parents to avoid situations where their young juvenile daughters could be basically victimized in a situation like this?
Well, you're asking an old man something he doesn't know much about when it comes to these devices. Parents that are familiar with technology and these social media platforms, pay attention to what your kids are looking at. I understand there's different ways of blocking or monitoring. There again, I'm not sure, but parents need to pay attention to what their kids are looking at.
And this is very clearly a minor.
Correct.
13?
She's a minor. She's a juvenile. Yes.
And are you aware if he knew she was a minor?
It's my understanding he was fully aware.
Could there be additional charges?
Yes, there will be further charges. We anticipate more charges, yes.
How serious are the crimes in this case? People may not know jail time, anything like that. These are very serious.
These are very serious, very serious. He could go to prison for a long time.
You know, Sycamore is a well-known brand. This story has had, it's very big right now. It's a huge story because it involves Sycamore. Is there any inclination from your point that the business or his family members were aware or involved in any way?
So far, the investigation, nothing. The wife, the business, nothing has come into play.
Take us back to that 911 call that originally instigated all this. Is that call going to be available? And if so, or if not, can you tell us the context of the call, what was said, the urgency of it?
Now, as far as when it'll be available, that I can't tell you. As far as what was said, I'm not even aware of yet of exactly what was said in the call. I've not been brought up to speed that much yet.
Did the call come from the parents, do you know?
I have no.
It came from the residents.
Yeah.
How is everyone doing? How is the minor doing? How are the family members doing?
As well as could be expected under the circumstances.
And were there any injuries that you can share at this point?
Not that I've been told.
Okay.
No.
Do we know how long the suspect was on the scene at the girl's bedroom?
I do not.
And do you know if they've had a lengthy relation? I don't want to say relation. A lengthy, have they known each other for a long time? Have they been communicating for a long time?
That's still under 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay. So I didn't know that. I knew they were still analyzing.
Sure.
There was minor injuries.
There was minor injuries. Okay.
Minor injuries to suspect?
Not under investigation.
Was he under the influence or drugs or anything?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Nothing.
This caught a lot of people by surprise just because of the charges and, you know, the distance between Charlotte and Stanley County. When you look at just the distance and the age gap and the evidence and what you know about the case, what does that tell you about potentially maybe there needing to be more investigation into like whether this is the first time?
Well, as far as a distance, the western part of Stanley County has become just a bedroom community for Charlotte. The western end of our county is exploding. But as far as the last part of your question, I don't quite understand.
You know, it's a man is accused of breaking into or entering a home without permission in the middle of the night, and he's accused of committing heinous acts.
Right.
Some people have said, you know, that doesn't seem like something someone randomly just decides to do on a whim.
Right.
Is that something you're looking into to determine whether this is a pattern of behavior?
We are, yes.
No, a lot of deputies coming forward.
Oh, yeah, we talked about additional victims. Yeah, through the investigation.
Yeah, but we're also encouraging anybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If there are any other victims, we definitely encourage them to come forward.
No, a lot of deputies, police officers, magistrates, they have kids of their own and they're trying to prosecute this. How tough is it to do the investigation knowing that you may have a son or daughter about that age, knowing that they could easily have been affected as well? I mean, it's got to take a lot of energy to kind of drive past that.
It does. You have to set aside your personal feelings. Years ago when I was a detective, you had to set aside personal feelings and just do your job. It's hard.
Sorry, anything else though? They knew each other for 2 weeks, met it online.
Yep.
So was this the first time he's made the trip, do we know of, to Stanley County?
Don't know.
You don't know?
Don't know. That's the problem. We don't know.
Do you know what time of the morning he was seen in the
in the room?
I don't know.
So I'm comfortable saying, it appears from the rough timeline that we have together, he was not in the home for a very long period of time. It's our understanding he was not there for hours and hours. I know you guys had some questions about advice to parents, advice to the community involving children, electronic devices, social media platforms. I do have Sergeant Vic Dunn here to be able to kind of address some of that with you, because that's more her specialty. If you guys would like that, if not, then
Sure. Yeah.
But I did at least want to make that available.
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you mind stepping up to the podium?
Come on, Carson. She's the expert.
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I wouldn't be a good sheriff if I didn't hire people smarter than me.
Do you mind saying and spelling your name and giving your title?
Yes, Sergeant Carson Vic Dunn, Stanley County Sheriff's Office. Yep, sorry.
Whoop.
Sergeant Carson Vic Dunn, Carson Karcin, Vic Dunn VICK-DUNN.
What should parents know, just in general, about the dangers of social media, especially as they're seeing this case in the news?
So we always recommend the common sense approach. We recommend parents opening communication with the kids so that the kids feel comfortable if something is going on, that they want to feel comfortable talking to mom and dad about. Also, we recommend parents talking to kids about getting access to their phones. The parents not being locked out of the children's phones. Even sometimes that might look like a child having a time in which their phones get plugged up in a common area of a house. Maybe once a week talking about what other children that they've heard, like things that happen at school, and what would we do as a family if that happened in our home. So really just a common sense, open line of communication. We always encourage that with parents and kids.
Great job. Thank you.
She's the smart one.
Anything else we didn't say that you think is relevant to the story?
I think right now, since it's still ongoing, I think that's about all we can do right now.
And is he cooperating with law enforcement, Stephen?
That'd be a question.
We don't want to lose that right now. Still an investigation.
Yeah.
I guess
it is his right not to cooperate.
Yeah. Are you happy with, how the courts have played it? The $10 million secured bond is pretty high. Are you happy with
Absolutely.
How this is being handled?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, great job.
So one more thing that I am comfortable disclosing. He obviously, and I'm sure you guys have done enough research on he and his family to know that he does have a residence in Bermuda. So obviously, I would assume that because of the severity of the crime and him having a residence in another country, I think these all play into, along with the guidelines from Arenas law, I think all of these things play into that bond amount, just because of the ability to leave the country.
Can you get a search warrant in Bermuda? Is that something you're...
I mean, we have no, every nexus that we have is local. Okay. As far as here or Charlotte.
Yeah.
We have developed no nexus that would have anything to do with Bermuda. Okay. Obviously, if it were to go there, we could leverage federal partners to accommodate those things, but I think that is, I don't think that's even
crossed your mind at this point, yeah?
Not at this point, because there's been virtually zero, or there has been zero nexus between here and there.
Yeah, and I think off record, it seems like his wife is the nexus in Bermuda. But again, she's a victim also, so we don't want to lose too much of that. So that's why the bond amount, you believe, so.
I mean, I'm assuming.
Definitely
I think all of these things combined, the new, because of the class felony, how it falls under Arenas law and some of the new bond changes, as well as severity of the crime, age of the victim, his ability to be a flight risk, both because of assets and having a home in another country. I mean, in my personal opinion, all of these things would have played a factor to a judge.
And we're going to have updates on that story coming up at 4, 5, and 6. Our Walker Lawson was at that press conference and will be live in all of our shows today, as this is really the big story. And then our Anna King is going to have reaction from local businesses and residents. Multiple other breweries and bars in the area have posted statements and videos even throwing out their Sycamore stock. So definitely this is going to be fallout that we're going to be watching for a couple weeks now, especially when we look at Brigham's upcoming court date on December 29th. So lots that is still to be learned about the situation. And as the sheriff said, investigation still ongoing. Going to get to some more news and weather coming up in your next 2 minutes. Stick with us. All right, welcome back. Switching gears here a little bit to head back to some Panthers coverage. Of course, we're going to be hitting it pretty hard as we're all excited about the fact that they might be going to the playoffs for the first time since 2017. Still gotta, thank you, Carlene, for the excitement.
It's exciting.
It is.
You know, we've been transparent here on Live Impact News for several times. Like, if people know, if you watch, I'm a Bills fan, but I live now in Charlotte. And I want the Panthers to be good, because it'd be so exciting to live in a city where you have a playoff team and everyone's excited and the hype, and it is certainly building. But we want them to do so well.
It would be so fun.
It would be so much fun.
It would be so fun.
And I want Sturdivant to be happy, because
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I need him to come back into the office, because he should really. He should
be here.
He should be here for this.
You know, he might be here actually. I'll bring him.
He might.
I'll send him a message. He might be here by now.
And it's not that I'm not excited.
No.
It's just that I don't know nearly as much information about football.
Sure.
But I'm going to do my best, Carlene.
We're gonna make it happen.
I'm learning a lot. This is a good way for me to learn.
Right.
I just
what better
learned.
way for us to, for you to learn? I mean, I know a little something, but if they're doing well,
what a fun crash course.
Right. What a fun crash course.
And I love to go to a game and get a hot dog.
God,
Who doesn't?
Get a nice cold one. You get a hot dog. It's a great day.
I'm learning names. For example, Jalen Coker.
That's right.
Who's a wide receiver. Who's going to be, pivotal in their potential win against the Saints this weekend. Of course, they need that. It's an away game.
Orleans.
Yep.
in New Orleans, and we've lost to them before. So
Right.
we want the best for the Panthers.
But they played the team this time. They know them. They know them now.
They do.
Get some more information about how they play. Maybe that'll help. So Daniel Stein actually got a chance to talk with Coker about what this weekend might look like. So let's take a listen here.
Jalen, now that we're getting towards the end of the season, 4 games left, the Panthers are firmly in this playoff push. After the game that you guys last played, you said, we've thought of ourselves as a playoff team all year. Why is that, and why are you still so steadfast in believing that this Panthers team could be making a postseason run?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only way to think, especially in this profession. You know, I feel like the goal is the Super Bowl, you know, so every year we're going to continue to strive for that goal and just continue to go 1-0 every week. And if we do that, then, you know, we're going to have a chance to meet our goal this year.
This past win that you guys had before the bye week really put a stamp on your season so far. A huge win against a great opponent, and you were instrumental in that win. Just looking back just a couple weeks ago now, how, I guess, fulfilling was that for you to get your first touchdown of the season and just help secure that win for the team?
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely, you know, it was great, especially, you know, all the fans there and stuff, and it was packed, and, you know, to fight through the adversity with the weather and all that, and to have a, you know, a good team come in here in the bank and us, you know, win. It's you know, cannot beat the feeling, but, you know, I'm looking forward to stack more.
You guys as a team have been leading, I believe, the NFL in these 4th down attempts. You got that big touchdown on a 4th down conversion. What about those kinds of moments where it's do or die, you know, pressure's on to make the play and deliver? Do you like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it just comes back to coach, you know, and just his trust in us and trust in the players to, you know, make those plays on those downs when we need it the most. So, yeah, no, just can't say enough about our guys, you know, able to step up to the occasion, and then coach for calling those plays for us.
Obviously, your season started off a little bit slow with being injured. Getting going now, how are you feeling in terms of getting your confidence back up to a point where maybe you ended last season in your rookie year?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. You know, physically, mentally feeling great. You know, just trying to make the most of what opportunities I do have. You know, it's really unfortunate, and I'm so upset that, you know, I wasn't able to start the season the way I wanted to. But, you know, just finishing out strong, and, you know, we make a run in this thing. You know, maybe I still get to those, you know, those games that I missed. So the ones that count too. So it'll be it'll be great.
But you still have obviously time this season to make up for it too. You have a lot more to prove. 1 touchdown already this season, just this past game, and there's still opportunities. How, I guess, hungry does that make you for the rest of the season? Does this maybe open a door for you more, that you kind of ripped the Band-Aid off and got 1 down?
For sure. I think it's you know, I don't want to think about it like that. You know, I want to just continue to just make the most of the opportunities that come to me. And if they find me in the end zone, then they do. But you know, like I say every time, I'm going to continue to do whatever the team needs me to do to get wins.
How does Bryce help you in your game, as well as all of the other receivers right now? He's playing exceptionally well, and he's setting all of you guys up, it seems like.
Yeah, I think that's the exact way. I mean, I think just his belief in us, his trust in us, continuing to throw us the ball, you know, in those matchups that are one-on-one, you know, he's trusting us to come down and make the big play. So I think that just that continued trust and belief in us is just going to elevate our group.
And a lot of the other guys in your room were saying how you're always open, you're always that guy, you're reliable. Just what's that trust level between the other receivers and you that you've been able to build in your 2 years now that you've been in Carolina?
Yeah, I think it's just I try my best to just be consistent, you know, how I come in the building, how I work, you know, how I practice, just continue to set that same standard for me, and you know, continue to make plays on Sunday when they come to me.
That game against the Rams, it was a special moment too. I know you had some very important cleats. Does that kind of, you know, become a little bit full circle to you that you got your first touchdown wearing the cleats that I know mean a lot to you? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, the Love Like Adam Foundation, you know, they're doing such amazing work with, you know, bullying, anti-hazing prevention and all that. And, you know, Adam Oakes, he's just such a big part of my game. You know, every game I make sure to say a prayer for him and make sure that he's doing well in heaven. And just, yeah, just I'm so grateful for, you know, his family for, you know, giving me the opportunity to, you know, represent. When you got into the end zone, were you thinking about Adam in that moment at all? Yeah, I'm thinking about him every day, you know, just
it's just it's unfortunate when you lose a friend like that, especially at such a young age. So I try my best to do everything for him and live like he would.
Absolutely. As this Panthers team is getting ready to make this playoff push and finish out strong, you have division opponents 3 of the last 4 games. Obviously, those are the ones that are most important. You're going to the Saints next, a team you've already faced, and one I believe you would say you'd want to get back. How can you guys take what you learned from the first time you faced them as you're heading to New Orleans this coming week?
Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to us just playing our brand of football. I think they're a good team. They're a really good defense as well. So it's just going to take all of us, and it's just a great, it's opportunity. That's all I think about. Just another time for us to showcase our ability.
Panthers haven't won the division since 2015. That was a year that people remember very clearly if you were a Panthers fan. When you're this close and you have this competition with the Bucs right now going down the stretch, how are you feeding off of that kind of competition vibe that it's neck and neck and someone's got to, eke it out?
Mm-hmm. I think, Coach Brad says it best, we got 4 games to the end of the season, 1 game this Sunday, but, our job is to go 1-0 today, so we're just going to continue to every practice, every rep, just continue to find our best, and when the opportunity shows, we're going to be ready.
All right, definitely some exciting stuff that people are.
It's so exciting.
I know.
Just the chance for it.
Yeah.
Is a buzz. Now, to give some just a history, because people know, I've said it multiple times, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I was working in Buffalo when the 18-year playoff drought.
I didn't realize it was that long.
18 years. It was 2017 when they finally got into the playoffs. And it was as if they won the Super Bowl because they got to the playoffs. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And now we have the chance, because it was 2017 the last time the Panthers were in the playoffs.
Yes.
So if we get to that point, I don't want to say it's me, but it might be me.
Who knows?
It could be the Carleen Bragg effect.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
When you hear next? Monday?
Yeah.
Well.
Then we'll see.
Then we'll be one step
closer.
You have been in here for all of those Nick and Eugene Panthers previews.
I will be accepting thank you notes.
Yep. Carleen Bragg.
To me. But,
it's fun stuff.
Just fun stuff. It's fun.
Yep. And everyone make sure if you have extra fun to thank Carleen.
We have fun here.
We have fun here. But I don't know. I'm just excited to see the city's excitement on Sunday. Yeah.
It'll be buzzing.
It'll be cold.
It'll be
buzzing.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Welcome back. It is actually right on the dot, 3:30 here in the Live Impact studio. So we've only got about 30 minutes left in here before we get to our 4 p.m. newscast. And we want to stick on our Panthers beat for a while. So I know earlier we brought you the Nick and Eugene special. That was shot, though, before we knew that the Bucs had lost, putting the Panthers in a really, really good spot. So Julian Council actually did an update last night with Locked On Panthers.
Emergency episode. Is what it's titled. Emergency episode.
I thought you were just saying emergency.
No. It's titled Emergency Episode.
Well, that really, I think, sums up how urgent the excitement here is.
It ups the energy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm locked in, locked on, I guess. All right, so let's see what Julian had to say.
Well, what do you know? The Carolina Panthers are in sole possession of the NFC South.
You are Locked On Panthers, your daily Carolina Panthers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into another edition of the Locked On Panthers podcast, a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, as always, Julian Council, talking Carolina Panthers with you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and yes, of course, Friday, your team every day. That's our motto here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for watching the show where I am live right now on YouTube as the Panthers are in sole possession of first place in the NFC South, thanks to their friends down there in Atlanta, finding a way to win on Thursday Night Football down in Tampa against the Bucs, who are in free fall mode. Of course, you can listen to your favorite podcast in this podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and we're doing an emergency episode. Typically, I don't get y'all the Friday episodes throughout the season until like Friday afternoon, and I was sitting in I was in my bedroom, man. I was about to go to bed. I'm wearing my glasses right now. Like, I have the contacts out. I washed my face. I was ready to go to bed. I was like, you know what? I can't leave the people hanging until 2, 3 o'clock because I'm about to go to the facility tomorrow because I got to ask Dave Canales, hey, man, you watched the game last night? Because he told us on Monday that he got really emotionally involved in that game on Sunday where Tampa lost to New Orleans. So I'm sure he was up, jumping up and down, screaming at his house here in Charlotte tonight as they got that victory. So I got to be in the facility tomorrow to talk to Dave, and also possibility that J.C. Horn may be available because I think he's going to be good to go and clear concussion protocol and play this upcoming Sunday down there in NOLA. But man, this is exciting. This is the moment that a lot of us, like, we've been waiting for this for a long time. Now, you got a brief taste of it a couple of years ago in 2022. And from talking to those guys in the locker room, like Austin Corbett was here, Taylor Moton, Chuba Hubbard, none of those guys really look at this situation and compare it to the situation back in 2022 where they kind of just stumbled upon being in a winner-take-all game back in Week 17 against Tampa. Now, like, they're truly in it where they have full control heading into the final month of the season, and they're in a position where, like, this really feels earned. Where in 2022, certainly they had earned the right to be in that spot, but it's like you fired your coach early in the season. You didn't even attempt to throw the ball when you had PJ Walker starting against the Rams that first week. Sam Darnold, he eventually came in. It was like a really weird season that played out to where you almost made the playoffs. This actually feels like a true build towards what this may be if the Panthers can actually get the job done here on Sunday in New Orleans, then next week at home. And I'm just telling y'all right now, if they win this game against the Saints, when I've been to all the home games this year, as good as the crowd has been against Miami when they're coming back and winning that game, and same thing with Dallas and then the last game against the Rams, like, that place has not been fully packed with Panther fans like it should be next Sunday if they get it done. Like, I understand that it's been a long time since they've given you a reason to believe, but I think right now, even though I understand, and we're going to have the conversation here momentarily about, yeah, it feels just a little bit too good to be true right now, considering what's happened with Tampa being in free fall mode. But y'all, get your ass in the stands next Sunday if they beat New Orleans and they are playing for a division crown at Bank of America Stadium. Like, it would be the biggest game at home in like 8 years. So Wow. Looking at the game tonight, Atlanta really tried not to win it. I don't have any issue with the two-point conversions they went for. That's what the analytics say. Now, I hate the nerds who just look at spreadsheets and tell you that's how football is played when that's really not the case. Do they ever take into account that Drake London's not playing in the game? Was that a factor in the decision by the pencil pushers to go for it? Now, they went for it twice, didn't get it, which is totally fine. There's still plenty of time left on the clock. Why is Tampa throwing the ball in that situation on that 2nd down and 14? I don't know. I suppose they're trying to win the game, but they allowed Atlanta to have 40 seconds, which were very key as the Falcons were shooting themselves in the foot. And how they have those 2 fumbles, I don't know. When Mooney fumbled that first time, I don't understand how Tampa didn't get on that ball. And then the second time when Kirk actually fumbled and Tampa had the ball in possession, and then the refs are saying, they both had the ball and tie goes to the offense. Refs, there's literally a Bucs player who has the ball right now, and you're telling me it's Atlanta ball? Fine by me. That was just wild. And I'm sure James Yarko and every Bucs fan is mad as hell at those calls, but your team, they've been dragging ass for 2 months now. They've lost 6 out of their last 8 games. They're not trending upwards at all. Mike Evans came in tonight, played well, didn't matter. The Bucs are in free fall mode. Carolina, yes, they've been win-loss. It's been a yo-yo. It's been 1 week. Wow, Dave Canales needs to give up play calling. Wow, Bryce Young sucks too. Hey, maybe Bryce is a franchise, Dave. You got it under control as well. It's been emotional, good and bad here this season with the Panthers, but here they are in full control of their playoff fate. They already were, but it's right there for the taking. Truly. All you needed to do heading into this week was win the game against Tampa at home next week, and then the one later on down in Tampa Bay. That would have been enough. Of course, win your final 4 games, which would still be the objective. But now you're in a position where you win on Sunday, you win next week. You taking a 2-week vacation against Seattle? And I saw the NFL, they finally came out with the Week 17 schedule, and I was curious if that would be the Saturday game. Now, I don't think the NFL looks at Carolina or Seattle in 2025 as a matchup the nation wants to watch. Now, they'll shove whatever down your throats, and y'all are going to eat it because that's just how the NFL works in this country. But I don't think they looked at that as an attractive matchup, and they may get it right because hopefully it's not an attractive matchup. Hopefully it's Andy Dalton or hell, Mike White starting in that game because Carolina's already wrapped up the division at that point in time. But it's right there for the taking. And I mean, I'm trying not to curse. Holy crap, man. What a world that we are living in right now, that this team is right there in position. And I was in the locker room today and asking guys like Moten and Chuba these questions about how they feel about the situation. And it's been the same case throughout it, that they have all just been like, hey, it's great to be here. We got to take it 1 week at a time. No one's looking ahead to what's going to go on. I was even asking Trevor Etienne, hey, man, if you and your brother, his brother Travis, playing for the Jags, y'all both go to the playoffs. Well, how the family going to handle that situation? Who's going to go see who? And he's like, yeah, we'll split it up. I'm like, I don't want to get too far ahead, but I'm just curious, man. How would that work out as he's going back home this weekend to Louisiana, as he's a Louisiana kid? They're playing down in New Orleans, obviously. So, yeah, they've all been mature about it. And it goes back to Monday. Austin Corbett talking about there is a mature energy in that locker room. There's a different kind of focus than they have had in prior weeks, especially when you look at a month ago when they played this Saints team coming off of the biggest win of the season at the time against Green Bay. I mean, Ike Ekwonu said it. They didn't have the attention to detail that they needed to have, that you can't get days back. Once a day is gone, as we all know in life, it's over. You can't go back and make it right. You lost that preparation, and they were not prepared. Do they take them lightly? I mean, Christian Roseboom said the other day on Monday that they don't take anybody lightly. Well, it's hard to argue that you didn't the first time around against New Orleans. And you look at Atlanta, these divisional games are never going to be easy. And that's just the integrity of the league that we saw play out tonight down in Tampa. Atlanta was eliminated last week from the playoffs. Their starting quarterback, their hopeful franchise quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., is done for the season. Kirk Cousins, who was benched at the end of last season in favor of Penix and wasn't even traded. They wouldn't let him go. And I guess is the reason why, even though they're sitting here at 5-9 and their season technically, as far as like what they wanted to achieve, is over. They still have 3 more games left to play. And looking at how they play tonight, they're going to keep going out there and trying to win games. But man, like Kirk went out there and balled. And you think back to last year, maybe all Kirk Cousins needs is to see Tampa on Thursday Night Football, because he threw for like 500 yards in an overtime game that they had a year ago in Atlanta. Then he's out there just throwing dimes. And I don't know how David Sills can't catch a ball where he's wide open for a walk-in touchdown, but then he makes that play on that 4th and 14. And if you're Tampa, how are you giving that up? Drake London's not out there. I mean, Bijan Robinson was awesome in this game. We finally saw Kyle Pitts look like the Kyle Pitts that people thought he was going to be when he came out of Florida in this game. And perfect timing, of course, for all Panther fans out there when watching this game. But man, credit to Atlanta. Like, seriously, like you got to tip your cap to them. I'll do it because, I mean, they went out there and they continue to fight. And I'm expecting the exact same thing from New Orleans, that they want to sweep Carolina, that they probably looked at this game as like, great, perfect. The Panthers are excited about the opportunity. Maybe they're going to lose a little bit of focus because they look and saw that Tampa lost this game. Let's get after their ass. Like, I think that's exactly what Cam Jordan, with Mario Davis, that entire leadership that they have, especially defensively on that roster, that they want to do on Sunday afternoon. And we talked to Ross Jackson of Locked On Saints with the crossover here, I guess yesterday on Thursday. It's now 12:02 Eastern time here. Welcome to Friday, December 12th, y'all. But yeah, we talked to Ross, and like he's drinking the Kool-Aid of Tyler Shuck and what happened last Sunday in Tampa. And now seeing that what Kirk Cousins just did and that Tyler Shuck did it, maybe it's more of a Tampa problem than a Tyler Shuck problem. Now, Tyler did play well the first time around. Now, if you ask J.C. Horn, it was really just 2 plays that beat them. It was the Chris Olave touchdown. Was it a push-off? Was it not? It doesn't really matter. J.C.'s not making excuses for it. No, he wouldn't get the call. That was a touchdown. Then J.C. falls down. Juwan Johnson scores a touchdown. You take away those 2 plays, and even as bad as Carolina was offensively, like they win the game 7-3. So I'm expecting that they're going to limit the explosives that they gave up in that first matchup when playing against Tyler Shuck and that Saints offense. But that Saints team, they're going to be game. And even had Atlanta not won this game, had Tampa been the victor and placing a lot of the pressure on Carolina, I still expected New Orleans to come out on Sunday ready to go and looking to beat the Panthers. Now, does this put more pressure on Carolina, considering that, look, if Tampa wins, there's the pressure to win on Sunday regardless because you want to keep pace. Now that they've lost, like you still are kind of in a way freed, because all you got to do, even if you don't win down in New Orleans, is still beat them at home and then in Tampa. So it's not like you completely fall off if you don't get the win on Sunday. Now, you want to get the win on Sunday. You want to get the win the next week, especially for a team that's still hoping to get potentially a guy like Robert Hunt back for the playoffs. What a perfect time would it be to be able to rest some of your starters in the final 2 weeks if that's what Dave wants to do? I have no idea how he would approach it. And I can't believe we're even having the conversation about the Panthers being able to do that. And it would have to be, I don't know if they would be assured the 4 seed, but in all likelihood, they're going to be the 4 seed, just looking at the rest of the divisions playing out right now in the NFC, like the West, like you're not going to be able to lose 6 games and win that division, clearly. Same thing when looking at the NFC East. Now, Philadelphia, they're struggling. I think you're probably the 4 seed regardless, depending on how things play out. So maybe they want to keep trying to play, keep up momentum, and get to 11-6 if they can do that. And you have to wonder, too, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but if you are in that situation, do you want to take 2 weeks off and to potentially get out of a rhythm, especially if it's like you beat the Rams, you beat the Saints, and then you beat the Bucks? Like, that's 3 wins in a row. You want to have guys healthy. You don't want to lose somebody in a meaningless game. Totally understand that. Obviously, a conversation for possibly in a couple of weeks' time. But damn, what is going on here? Okay, let me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here and get back out to some more with Julian Council on the Panthers, previewing their matchup against the Saints this weekend. Of course, really exciting and definitely kind of a stressful game that we have coming up, but I know that people are curious, so we'll get back out to him in about 2 minutes. All right, welcome back. I know we said we'd probably get back out to Panthers, but we are actually going to get back out to something live that we started with earlier, and you can watch the whole Locked On Panthers podcast. We have that linked on our WCNC mobile app if you want to. But this is what we brought you earlier with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who we are expecting in a few minutes here. This is out of Huntsville, Alabama. You saw him getting a tour of the facility earlier, but now they're at the Space Command sign unveiling ceremony, so we're waiting word from him.
Spade full of dirt until the final item on the punch list is completed. Protect them from harm, accidents, and safety incidents. Let this military construction project be completed on time and under budget. I ask all these things in the name of Jesus, my Savior and Lord. Amen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Drake and Chaplain Morgan. Everyone, please be seated. Today, we are here to celebrate a historic moment in our country, as the U.S. Space Command will officially become a proud member of Team Redstone and the Huntsville community. The mission of the U.S. Space Command is to work with allies and partners to plan, execute, and integrate military space power into multi-domain global operations in order to deter aggression, defend national interests, and when necessary, defeat threats. Please join me in welcoming the Commanding General, U.S. Army Materiel Command, Lieutenant General Chris Mohan.
Thank you, Christine, and for everybody, welcome. And we did order up this weather because this ain't always the way it is in December in Alabama. But good afternoon, everybody. First, Mr. Secretary, it's an honor and privilege to host you. This is only the third time that we've either had a Secretary of War or Secretary of Defense visit Redstone Arsenal, and we're thrilled that you are here. Today we mark a historic moment for Redstone Arsenal, the Tennessee Valley, and our nation. And it is my distinct honor to formally welcome the United States Space Command to its new home here at Redstone Arsenal. General Mrs. Whiting, on behalf of the entire Team Redstone, all 75 partners that you have here on this installation, and the entire Tennessee Valley community, welcome home. We're thrilled to have you. Your presence represents not just a relocation, but a continuation of a proud legacy of excellence, innovation, and service. But let me begin by expressing my gratitude to several of the many distinguished leaders and guests who were instrumental in setting this opportunity up and setting this in motion. First, Mr. Secretary, our Secretary of War, again, thank you, sir. The Honorable Mink, Secretary of the Air Force, sir, thank you very much. And of course, all of our members of Congress, our senators, Senator Tuberville, Senator Britt, Chairman Rogers, Representative Strong, and our mayors, Mayor Battle, Mayor Bartlett. These are the folks that will that will set the conditions for this to happen, but will set the conditions to bring this into fruition. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all the help that you have given us. Your presence reinforces the importance of this event and the shared commitment to advancing our nation's defense. So since its founding, Redstone Arsenal has been a hub of innovation, evolving from rocket and missile development to supporting cutting-edge technologies that define modern warfare. Today, as we welcome U.S. Space Command, we embark on a new chapter in that proud legacy. Space is no longer the final frontier. It is our operational domain, and Redstone Arsenal is uniquely positioned to support this critical mission. To the men and women of U.S. Space Command, you are joining a community that values service, innovation, and excellence. You are joining a legacy that has shaped the defense of our nation for decades, and you are joining a team that is committed to supporting you. Together, we will continue to build on Redstone's proud legacy and ensure the success of this vital mission. So thank you, and may God bless the U.S. Space Command, Redstone Arsenal, and United States of America. This will defend, be all you can be. Go Army, beat Navy, and since we're in the state of Alabama, roll Tide.
Thank you, General Mohan. We'd like to welcome the Mayor of Huntsville, Tommy Battle, followed by the Mayor of Madison, Renee Bartlett.
Chaplain, if I could first say,
It's amazing in your prayer asking on time, on budget. Divine inspiration is here. We will work with divine inspiration. And good afternoon. It is an honor to join Secretary Hesketh, Secretary Mink, General Whiting, our congressional delegation, and senior military and elected officials as we again welcome the U.S. Space Command to its new home on Redstone Arsenal. Thank you, General Whiting. The community has waited many years for this day, and it's finally here. And this is a moment of pride. It validates decades of investment in space, defense, education, and quality of life. The work isn't done, but Huntsville is ready. I want to thank Chairman Mike Rogers, Chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, for his leadership. Mike, thank you so much. I also want to thank our full delegation, Senator Brett, Senator Cupperville, Dale Strong. The full delegation was there, and it's amazing when you have a unified delegation what can happen. Thank each of you for your support as we have gone through this. For more than 6 decades, Huntsville has been a community where innovation, national defense, and exploration have been part of our DNA. We built the rockets that took America to the moon, and we continue to design and build the technologies that protect our homeland and strengthen our allies around the globe. To all of you, we want to say, especially to Space Command and our new friends who will be moving here soon, welcome to Huntsville, welcome to Redstone Arsenal, welcome home.
Greetings, everyone, from the city of Madison, named this year as the 9th best place to live in the nation. Madison stands ready to assist in the transition of Space Command to Redstone Arsenal. On behalf of Mayor Battle, our County Commission Chair, Mac McCutcheon, and the city of Madison, thank you to everyone here today who made today possible. Thank you, Mayor Battle and Mayor Bartlett. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Commander, U.S. Space Command, General Stephen Whiting.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, and I want to thank Lieutenant General Mohan and all of Team Redstone for your outstanding hospitality today. This world-class event is testament to the strength of our relationships and signals our bright future together. Secretary Hesketh, Secretary Mink, thank you for honoring us with your presence, and thank you for joining us in Rocket City, USA, the home of your U.S. Space Command. We are grateful for your support as we relocate our warfighters and their families and build a new permanent command headquarters right on this location. As all of you can appreciate, most of U.S. Space Command's mission-critical work on behalf of our joint force and our great nation is highly classified. But one of our not-so-secret weapons has always been outstanding community and civic support. It was true upon our establishment in 2019 in Colorado Springs during President Trump's first term, and remains so today as we move at his direction to North Alabama. I echo General Mohan's thanks to all of our distinguished elected and civic leaders in attendance today. Specifically, I'd like to thank the local mayors and commissioners, as well as the congressional delegations from both Alabama and Tennessee for your support as we've begun planning our move over the past 3 months. Of course, U.S. Space Command has long enjoyed a strong connection to the Tennessee Valley. Our U.S. Army Service Component, Space and Missile Defense Command, or SMDC, has operated from Redstone for decades. Most recently, just earlier this year, they opened a new state-of-the-art research, development, and analysis center on the installation, reinforcing this region's reputation for fostering innovation. Additionally, our command also enjoys robust participation in the annual Space and Missile Defense Symposium, which has been hosted in Huntsville for over 30 years. Reflecting on this history and looking out at the crowd today, I feel immense gratitude for the goodwill established between us, because we are going to need it as we work together to advance from today's sign unveiling, which is obviously a significant event, to moving a significant portion of our workforce within the next few years here to Redstone, to ultimately cutting the ribbon on our new purpose-built facility for U.S. Space Command. Once established, this warfighting platform will optimize our already unmatched mission readiness and ensure the United States continues to lead and shape military space power for the future fight. Because it is vital we remain the world's preeminent space power, ensuring that America's interests are protected in the high frontier and that we provide every soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Coast Guardsman, and Guardian with the space capabilities they need to fight as the most effective, precise, lethal, far-ranging force on the planet, which is why we must guarantee that there is never a day without space. Thank you again for being here, and God bless America.
Thank you, General Whiting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Secretary of the Air Force, the Honorable Troy Mink.
So thanks for that welcome. Thanks for everybody being here on this really beautiful day. And it is great to finally be at Rocket City for the final location.
Well, we didn't quite get Secretary of War Pete Hegseth Carling.
So close.
Just missed him. I know. I know. We saw him earlier though, and I know that we'll hear from him later if he makes any big announcements there. But definitely interesting that they're moving the Space Force base officially to Alabama.
Yeah.
So big announcement there. We've got a lot to cover here locally as well. We're going to cut to our 4 p.m. newscast in a second here. The big story, of course, being Sycamore, the now former co-owner being charged with multiple crimes, including statutory rape. So we had that press conference earlier here on Live Impact News. We streamed it back to you live, and our Walker Lawson is going to break down everything you need to know, all the things that we learned today, but some other big stories as well. And of course, you're going to want another check of your forecast. It's going to be real chilly coming Sunday and Monday. So we're going to go ahead and cut to that. But thank you so much for watching us. We'll be back here later on after our newscasts.